Swing, all just by the active hands of Diggy Coit. About his average for the season. Right back to him, another push floater. That dude just knows how to score. As well as he shot the basketball, you might not get a better look than that one. 3 seconds to shoot. Reed, this will be 3. Martinelli, he's got 20 points.
We actually did practice the day after the Iowa game. We came in here as a group and watched film and cleaned up the offense defense that we do after every game. Whether we win or lose, that's been what we've done, and our guys were really bought into that. And then we took it out in court and did a lot of stations. We did some shooting. We shot a lot of free throws, and we just worked on some things that we're going to see whoever we play against, and then we'll get more into it as we go along on who the most likely teams that we'll play. We'll get after it.
Good morning. Welcome in. Hurrdat Sports live, presented by NextGen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. Just getting a lay of the land.
Yeah. Well,
if this is the same place I left.
It's the same land the last time we were here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's your spot over here. It's my spot over there.
I'm just trying to move as much as possible early on so I can make sure Sasha's stressed and has to really work with the camera. Am I off?
I think somebody zoomed the camera in a little bit, so we weren't,
Well, she and I are fighting. She just doesn't know it.
What are you guys fighting about?
Well, she keeps using that fat kid picture from a long time ago on our...
Oh, on the previews?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the foul?
So I refuse to engage and retweet those, and she keeps doing it. So,
well, I've offered that you could, take an updated photo.
That's called blackmail. I know I'm a brother. That doesn't count. I heard her voice. Did you hear her voice?
Yeah, it came through the headphones.
It sounds like it's coming from above. How does that happen? It's in our ears, right?
I don't know. I'm not an audio engineer, so I'm not really sure.
Sasha, say something else.
Something else.
Is that from above?
Rico says it would be really cool if Damon didn't go off camera all the time.
Rico, nobody's here to actually see me. They just want to hear me. Who cares if you can look? How about this? What you guys think about this?
I'm gonna be honest with the DB. I think you may not appreciate the new landscape where people like watching on YouTube.
Oh, how's this?
Probably not ideal.
Rico, do I come across as invisible?
You can't. You're not visible at all right now. It just looks like EJ Barthel's doing the show with me.
That's awesome. You can't
now.
So what if I was like a guy that did ventriloquism and I used the heads and I could impersonate Coach Wade and Coach Barthel?
We could always do one of these where we get.
That's pretty sweet because everybody would wonder who's talking. They're like, "Where's DB? Why is this dude sitting on the floor like a 4-year-old?"
I wonder that to myself sometimes too.
Would you rather talk down or talk up?
I don't mind when you're standing.
Is this awkward?
Yeah, this is strange. I'm going to be honest with you. Even for you, this is odd.
I just was seeing what it was like down here.
Well, it's a floor. You've been on one before.
How do you know?
Just making some assumptions.
Oh, man, kindergarten, I was that dude. They said, "Hey, let's play Duck, Duck, Goose." And I said, "Hey, this game sucks."
Well, if you move your cup, you look like you'd be one of the heads on the desk.
Yeah, is that pretty cool? Don't you guys wonder, like, if somebody's just tuning in for the first time, they're going to be like, where's that voice coming from and why is the chair empty? I think it's part of the allure.
I don't think it is at all.
Wow. I feel a little angst. I can't just chill down here and mind my own business.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, but
if that was true, that would be fantastic. I wish I could. I'd probably commit a crime.
You're like, T.I., you can do whatever you like.
Nah, T.I. still mad because he can't go to the old soiree at the old gentleman's club.
I think T.I. is mad because maybe
he's mad at 50.
You're mad. I was gonna say, unlike the Ravens, his pullout game is not very good.
Oh, that's tough. Wow. I don't have any idea so I do have a little idea what the Ravens are doing. Maybe they have buyer's remorse. Maybe they thought, let's do firsts. Yeah.
I think there's
Like pulling the Lakers.
Yeah, I'll say it feels like a little Lakers Mark Williamsy here.
Yeah, we don't want this guy anymore. Or and as Will Compton so eloquently told y'all, the Ravens have done this before.
Yeah.
They did it with one of his receivers coming out of Washington back when they were the Redskins, and then ended up Crabtree got released like a day later, and the Ravens reneged on the deal and signed Crabtree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember that too because as a Steelers fan, I was always curious about like where nope, she's gonna try to get me. I'm not doing it. Nope, she's childish. You think I'm bad? She's like, I'm gonna put the camera on the floor.
You're sitting on the floor and you're calling other people childish.
You can't keep doing that. That's the second time you've done that in like 5 days because I said,
and I've been right both times.
I said the double consonant word, and you were like, you can't say that. That's childish, and call other people childish. Was she gonna put the camera on the floor?
She 100% was going to. Yeah.
See, she's been with me too long.
She's like, "Oh, you want to sit on the floor? We'll get a camera on the floor."
She just doesn't bat an eye. Sometimes I can be extreme, and she's like, "Yeah, whatever. Just give it 5 minutes. It'll go away."
Eric says he says ADD, take the wheel.
Yeah. Hey, you guys peddling any meds, man? I'm your dude. You know what I mean?
I don't think you can sell drugs on the show, DB.
We call it something else.
Okay.
Semantics. What's wrong with you? People do it all the time. Weirdos. Yeah, good morning to you too. You just never know what you're gonna get.
No,
that's what makes the show enjoyable,
especially with the Ravens. Never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that was weird, man. It's like
I had another theory of what might have happened outside of the medical.
Yeah, is this like Darwin? Like what kind of theory? Like how much has this been tested?
No, it's
what deductive reasoning?
We're in the hypothesis phase. We're not in the testing phase or experimentation phase yet. If you're familiar with the scientific method,
I am.
We have a question,
which is nowhere near as good as the Socratic method. But
well,
I'm more of a philosopher. You're more of a Richard, so you probably like the evolution thing because you want survival of the fittest, so us scrubs can go by the wayside.
They're used for different things.
I'm more about hey, come on with me.
They both have.
Come on with me.
Where are we going? Back on the floor?
I want to raise you up with me.
Are you like big Josh Groban guy, huh?
We raise you up. No. Listen, I know you guys think I'm on drugs. I'm not. I wake up every day trying to attack the day. That's it. That's it.
Guys, he's just like this. That's what he's trying to tell you.
Yesterday, Kyle goes, he let me hang out with him because I was down there way too early. So I was kind of loitering.
Yeah.
And he was watching ACC basketball in his office. And I had to call like 17 people to get in. It's very Fort Knoxy.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I don't have a scan card. I have to I'm going to have to see if I know anybody at Playfly and at the university that can give me a scan card. But Kyle is he's a talk show radio guy.
Okay.
And he grew up listening to radio. So he is very, he's particular.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, DB, what's been the hot takes? You have any hot takes? I'm like, Kyle, I'm not a hot take guy. He's like, no, I'm just playing with you, DB. I know you're not. But I'm self-conscious.
Yeah.
So we're kind of walking around, and I'm like, wait, do I have hot takes? I feel like you're influencing me, Kyle.
You can't let them worry about it. Be like, hey, let those hot takes fly, baby.
No, I don't have enough hot takes. There were lots coming out of practice, but I want to hear your theory on Maxx with 2 X's Crosby.
First of all, spell your name normal. What are we doing
hot
here?
take.
Hey, my man Lupe hit me up immediately with the link and the account. He goes, DB, is this true?
Yeah. Were you like, I don't know, man, I don't work for the Ravens?
Well, he wanted to know if Shane was happy. I said, oh, Shane will be tickled if they keep him, but they're going to ship him. I know they're going to ship him in someplace else, but
Eric says it's like Key and Peele. Churlish and insubordinate.
That's a good pull. That's a very good pull.
My theory with Maxx Crosby is I imagine Joe Burrow called Maxx Crosby or the Ravens in the middle of the night just weeping.
And he's like, hey, remember when I put up 43 on you guys in that shootout
And he said,
in Vegas?
He said, hey, please don't do this to me. They still didn't buy me an offensive line. For the love of God, you don't want to be responsible for a dead body. You don't want my blood on your hands.
Oh, man. I do wonder what happened.
And the Ravens are like, oh, man, you're right. We don't want to kill Joe Burrow.
That would have been he's going to go somewhere. But I don't know. Are you going to get that deal?
You're not going to get 2 firsts. You'll get maybe a first and a second. I think that was the next best deal. A lot of people are at 1 first and maybe a player.
Well, he's ahead of schedule. Did you hear his doc? His doc was made social media rounds. Like, what are you guys doing?
I think there was I think it was a buyer's remorse situation. I think because the reports came out about what everybody else's offers were, and I think they feel like they overpaid. So they're like, nah, we're good.
It's totally buyer's remorse.
We out.
Steven, this is the most actually thing he said in probably 2 years.
Oh, yeah. He hasn't been super well actually lately.
Well, this is pretty well actually. And it's very higher level thinking. The scientific method is that's not so you got to play the first one. From an actual philosophy major, the scientific method and the Socratic method are not mutually exclusive.
That's educational. That's good to know.
Yes, the scientific method is about learning. The Socratic method is about teaching.
So I'm trying to learn and you're trying to teach.
Steven wears his war wounds like a crown.
See, I like all Steve Youngs, all of them, all 2 of them that I know.
Forever young.
Although I'm not sure about that, like no coffee thing the other one does.
Shane, was that very Rod Stewart-y?
You give a lot of Rod Stewart vibes.
Should I tease my hair?
Yeah. I think you can.
Do you think I'm sexy?
No.
Well, that's Rod Stewart.
If you think that is Rod Stewart. But yeah, don't ask me that question ever again.
What's the other? Maggie May?
I don't know her.
That's right. That's Rod Stewart too. Yeah. Wake up, Maggie.
Is May in it?
I think that's the name of the song.
I have something to say to you.
I think the song is called Maggie May.
Sasha, is that pretty good? I asked the one person that made like that genre of music. I am not making any assumptions. I'm
going to be honest. Sasha, of the people in this room, Sasha is second least likely to like Rod Stewart.
Something to say.
I think it goes in terms of least likely to most likely. It goes you.
No, I'm not. I'm totally out on Rod Stewart.
I said least likely to like Rod Stewart.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should probably listen.
Maybe a little bit.
It's not funny.
Sasha. And then me and Shane are somewhere tied for the most likely to like Rod Stewart.
Shane, big Rod Stewart guy?
Not so much.
All right, then I'm the most likely to like. I like a few of his songs.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the least. I heard your playlist.
Dude, it's a great playlist. I'm sorry that you don't have any taste when it comes to road trips.
I just didn't know you were like into 70s wannabe crooners.
I like lots. I'm sorry I didn't want to play smush music while we were trying to drive to Indy.
Smush.
You're out here playing like, can we get some 90s R&B? That's what happened. Sasha, that is what happened.
That's a fib.
No,
that's what happened.
That's what
At one point, he asked for suggestions. That wasn't my hang your hat on.
No, you took my phone and it's like 90s R&B, 90s R&B, Teddy Swims, 90s R&B.
This dude just casually threw in Teddy Swims. I was trying to keep the black people to a minimum. I don't want anybody weirded out. What is smush music?
It's music you want to smush to.
Okay. That's not even in my lexicon.
So
smush. You talking about like baby making music?
When a boy and a girl love each other, that's a man and a woman.
What is this, 9th grade hell?
Sometimes they light some candles, maybe have a nice dinner, and then they put on some music to kind of get people in the mood.
What it was? My seatbelt was on too tight.
Was it like cut off circulation of the brain, or like what was going on?
It was hurting my heart, so it made me act ugly about the music.
So you needed some smush music?
I'm not ever gonna say that. I'm not ever gonna say that.
You seem very hurt right now.
Yeah, that's a stupid term.
Rico says my children are listening. Stop. They need to know how they got here, Rico. I had a very funny conversation about Rico the other day.
You had a funny conversation about Rico
with Rico. Yeah, it was me and Austin and Rico, and about how his children got here, because Austin made the joke. Remember when we put together the lists of when we were going to draft people, draft listeners, which we're still going to do. And I think Dank put him as the defensive coordinator. And Austin was like, my man's got 3 kids. He ain't playing no defense.
Or she isn't.
And
he might just be a prolific scorer. He does like Melo.
It's like Bam Adebayo, apparently.
That was totally bad.
A bunch of freebies thrown in there.
That's not his fault. That's the league's fault.
No, yeah, but I'm still gonna be mad at him. Well, at some point, like 43 free throw attempts, man.
Yeah, that's
Where's the foul?
What was the time limit on that game?
What do you mean? What do you mean time limit?
How long did the game take? The frick you mean? What do I like?
It wasn't like a limit. It's not like they're like we're at 2. It's not like Little League. We're at 2 hours. You got to get off the field.
What was the time on the game?
The run time? I have no idea.
Would you prefer I said run time? Would that have thrown you less?
Time limit. I didn't know of what you meant. I didn't know how many minutes Bam played.
I'm gonna need you to loosen those headphones. Your brain might be brain might be squished.
It's squishing music.
Well, they brought him out with 109 left.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how long the game ran. I was watching on TV and they kept cutting in from the Celtics Spurs game. All I know is
I think I stopped when he had 71 when Micah was like, this is not right.
Yeah, I mean, there were some colorful words I had for what was happening.
What made you so mad?
Because this is the same thing that makes me mad when we put people in like all-star games and Hall of Fames that don't belong.
I need give me a 20-second time. Just a second real quick. You're mad. When Ravi goes, make sure we're recording.
I think we're always recording, DB.
No, I mean like have it ready to reproduce in a short amount of time. Let me phrase the question again.
Yeah.
At what point were you just beside yourself last night?
So when it became pretty clear that they were going to manufacture a way for him to break the Kobe barrier, because here's the thing. The history of these games matters to me. It does. And so that's why I get mad about all-star appearances. I get mad about Hall of Fame. I get mad about stuff like this because now on the list forever of the only players to score 80 points in a game, it is Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant, and Bam Adebayo. I don't know if you watch Sesame Street, but one of these things is not like the other. Like, it is not, because 10 years from now, people won't remember the 43 free throws and that both teams were fouling to extend the game for some godforsaken reason, and that the Wizards rolled out a bad G League team. That team wouldn't have been competitive in the G League. And that they scored 150 points in the game in which he scored 83. Like, it matters the context of what happened, and 10, 20, however many years from now, when people look back at this, that context starts to dissipate. And
10, 20, 30.
However many years from now, whenever people are looking at this, you're not going to get into all the details of oh, well, this happened in the 43 free throws and that Wizards team. Like, I mean, I'm not sure they'd win the NCAA tournament this year. And you go out there and you're not watching the NBA replay on NBA TV of them fouling and extending that fourth quarter forever. You're just going, oh, Bam Adebayo, 83 points. This is incredible. Way to go, Bam. No, it's nonsense. And like, certain people like just don't deserve certain records. They don't. He shouldn't be the second highest scoring player of all time. Somebody's going to look at there and be like, oh, Bam Adebayo, more prolific than Michael Jordan. He had
Where's the foul?
20 more points in a regular season game than Jordan ever had. This is like, it's idiotic.
They scored a $150.
He shot below 40. It's 50% from the field.
Yeah.
He shot less than 33% from 3-point range.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 11 more free throw attempts than Wilt Chamberlain had playing against 5'6" guys when he scored 100 points.
Here's the question. Would Alex Sarr, Bub Carrington, Bilal Coulibaly, Will Riley, and Trey Johnson win a national championship?
No. Unequivocally, no.
I'm just saying.
On the season,
How bad are Keyshawn George and Jameer Watkins for not even playing?
That's
in
what I'm
that
saying.
game?
You got DNPs on that team.
Everybody's like, who?
Before that game, he wasn't even averaging 20 points a game.
Oh, I know.
On the season or for his career. You know why? Because he's not that guy.
Yeah.
And somehow we manufactured this nonsense. You don't think that the better score, you don't think Kevin Durant against some trash team at some point in his career could have dropped 80 if they were doing this?
If you would have seen that box score, insert name of player you thought would have got 83.
The number of names I would have got to before Bam Adebayo.
No, just those stats. If somebody was going to get to 80, 83, you just looked at those stats.
If I looked at the way it happened, I would have said Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because of the free throws.
Even with the shooting?
Yeah, I mean, you can get cold some nights. With
God,
40,
it was giving me Donovan Mitchell vibes.
oh, on his 70?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's giving me that's something Donovan Mitchell
I would have
do.
thought the list of guys, I probably wouldn't have thought Donovan Mitchell, but that's a good call.
Thank you.
The list of guys I would have thought of, I'd have gone Shea.
Yeah.
I'd have gone Luka.
Luka's going to shoot better.
Probably, but he can be a volume guy on some nights. And
No,
he would have.
I get it.
And
but
he
those
would have
guys
baited.
those guys aren't. I mean, I get the free throw attempts with Shea. He's a more efficient scorer than we like to hate.
He is, and I get that. But
We just don't like this style of play.
if I'm looking at guys that I thought were even capable of setting the record, by the way, they've only kept stats on how many free throws people have shot in a game across the league since 1983, 1984. This is the most ever. The next like three are Dwight Howard, and people were doing it because he couldn't shoot free throws. They're just like, hey, we need to get a stop. There you go, Dwight. That's the defense. And I'll be honest, from the ones I'm watching, I was like, that's not a foul. That's not a foul.
Where's the foul?
Don't know what's happening there. Why is he at the free throw line again?
TK, I refuse to say that word because somebody threw that around and now everybody says it. I hate the term.
Oh, free throw merchant?
Yeah, we got to pick something else. It's become the
Alex says Smush Parker would have had 80 against him. Well, I don't know about that.
Hey, the guy that scored 81 had to play with Smush.
He did.
Parker.
He did have to play with
I think
Smush.
you made that term up, though. But
No,
I'm not going to revisit it.
Smush is a term. I didn't make that up. It's a thing people say. Well,
Hey, that's the secret.
more a thing they said in the 2010s, but my
Really?
my slang is probably about 10 to 15 years behind.
That's about right.
You can I kind of learned my whatever slang I was going to learn in like my late teens, early to mid 20s, and I just stopped.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty sheltered growing up.
Yeah, well, I'm just not going to start saying things like Riz and Skibbity or whatever the kids say. I'm not doing that.
Who?
I don't know. I hear some things on the internet sometimes. I'm like, I'm not.
I think we're over Riz.
I hope so. That's not a good term.
Yeah, I don't really know what the kids say right now.
You would know better than I do. You're around them all the time.
I know. But I try not to talk to Micah, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, you coach a bunch of other kids besides Micah.
Yeah, just talking ball, man.
You pick up some terms.
Yeah, just talking ball. That's what we do. Just talk ball. What?
Nah, it's just, it's funny.
Where's the foul?
Where's the foul?
Somebody, hold on. There was a comment I wanted to get to here.
Why?
Says T-Max is Ravi. Yeah, it says Ravi, they're going to kill Gil all day. History also will remember him kindly. They will remind us about this hike.
What Gil?
I don't know who he's talking about.
T-Mac, what we got?
What Gil are you talking about? Like Arenas?
Kendall? Johnny?
I don't think so.
Who?
I have no idea.
Are you sure?
I don't.
Oh.
I don't know I don't know what Gil he's talking about. I'm not a big Kendall Gil guy.
Gil.
I assumed he meant Arenas, but TK said, do you prefer free throw dealer, vendor, or retailer?
He needs to be on punishment. He's not a nice person. I do hope you win your Big 12 pool, though. I do.
Oh, he's got a Big 12 pool?
Yeah, he was looking for some insight, and I delayed. I didn't get back to him for like 4 hours, and so I was like, "Hey, call me." He's like, "Yeah, no, I had to turn it in already. Deuces." I was like, "Ouch! I'm sorry. I hope you do well."
Oh, Alex says he's probably talking about Gilbert Arenas killing him on the podcast.
Oh, Gilbert Arenas kills everybody.
Yeah, Gil's kind of a hater.
He is.
So I'm kind of
he is, especially for a guy that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, he had a stretch there.
Let's
where
not hate on his scoring prowess.
No, he had a stretch where he was probably one of the top couple scorers in the league.
Yeah, Gilbert got buckets.
Yeah.
What's eating Gilbert Arenas? Did you ever watch that movie?
Yeah, it's a weird movie.
Shane, you a big Gilbert Grape guy?
That's a good movie. Johnny Depp was good in it.
Say it's a good movie.
It's his taste.
It's fine.
So my guy Aaron's, he totally can mock me saying, and I don't know if Sasha got it from me or I got it from Sasha, but he has my "it's fine" down pat. He's like, "It's fine.
That's fine."
Rico, go ahead and put that graphic up for me.
What graphic did Suave find?
He said
now?
he's got a shot chart of Kobe's 81 versus Bam's. So look at that. That's economic. My man went 28 for 46. My man was on a heater.
No, I know.
And
only went to the foul line 20 times.
That's right. That is less than half as many times as one Bam Adebayo went to the free throw line.
18 of 20 from the strip.
Yep. He made half as many free throws as Bam Adebayo made. Without the free throws, Bam just has like a regular ass 47-point game.
Well, you are mad.
I am mad. This is nonsense. He went 7. At what point when you're shooting 30% from you're like, yeah, I should take 22 threes today.
So when do you think the teams are like all in on what's trying to happen?
I don't know. So we had like 43 at halftime.
They're like, hey, let's get Bam an 80 burger.
I would say shortly after halftime. I know at one point in the third, he had like 57, and they're probably just like, yeah, let's go for it.
I have a question.
All right.
Can I press pause? Shane, you're an Iowegian, right?
Yeah, I'm from Iowa.
Is Endora a real place, or was that just in the movie? What's eating Gilbert Grape?
Oh, okay. I thought I couldn't remember the name of the town in Iowa.
It's so weird.
Endora, Iowa.
I have a weird memory.
Is it N or Ann?
N. I think it's
like E-N.
I think. I don't know how it's spelled. I just know what they said.
Okay. Let me see what we can find here.
Well, is it a real place?
I don't know.
Thank you.
It does. Well, we've got an Eldora, Iowa.
No, it's E-N.
Let me try the other spelling here.
Spell it like I tell it to you.
Well, it does not appear to be a real place.
I only know indoor.
Oh, God. I'm not
the Forest Moon?
I'm not going to get you started. Remember his eloquent soliloquy he went into on my should never have been asked question about was it a moon? Was it a planet? The whole indoor thing.
It was a moon.
Yeah, he took 9 minutes to explain it to me on air.
That's too long, Shane.
Oh, you're a honk too.
I am, but I'm a honk enough to know they say the forest moon of Endor.
I hate your delivery.
So
I think it blows chunks.
Yeah.
It's very condescending. I'd like to have that conversation at some point.
Well, let's go ahead. I am open to suggestions on how I could sound more sincere in my delivery.
I think it's impossible.
You think so?
Yes. I think that ship is.
So you're not.
I'm sailing away.
Big sticks guy, huh?
Okay.
It's so maybe you're not as big on the Socratic method if you're not trying to teach me here.
No, I'm not. Shane, Coach Barthel has to reschedule. They have a meeting that just got called.
Boo.
Nah, I knew. I figured
all right.
Something was going to happen. It was too good to be true. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Captain.
That's all right. We'll reschedule for our guy, Coach Barthel.
So now I need a different head.
Yeah, get him out of here. Sorry,
no,
Coach.
You can't just do that.
Sorry, Coach.
It's freaking bats.
You can't do that.
Listen, you cancel on us after the show starts, booted.
What's wrong with you? That wasn't kind.
Sorry, it's not about you, Coach. It's not about you. I'm still mad about Bam.
I was
You mad?
liking how these two work together.
No, it's good.
yesterday.
It's good. You know, if you want your running backs coach and your offensive line coach be on the same page.
Always. And sometimes it's hard. That's not one of those don't assume that those people always are on the same page.
Yeah.
Like it can be fairly contentious.
I mean, we talk about that with offensive coordinators too,
can
right?
be sometimes,
Offensive coordinators are like, hey, I want to do this. And the offensive line coaches are like, yeah, but my guys are capable of this. So maybe we get on the same page here.
Yeah. Sometimes Coach Zolich should be like, hey, coach, what was that front you blocked? That was code for, I don't think that was right.
That was code for don't do that again.
Milt would fire back with, hey, let your guys know that was 90s protection. That was 93-95 series. Ooh, I feel like that's a little snarky. Maybe I was blocking 70-71. My bad.
See, I'm surprised you don't like me. That sounds like how I would deliver it.
No, don't be surprised.
That's how I'd be like, hey, ADB, I thought we were in sit in the chair mode today, not sit on the floor mode today.
I think I want to kind of go back to the floor.
You know, Saj's going to come in and remove the camera as soon as you do.
So can I just ask the question? And you guys killed me over the back. You guys killed me over just a lot. This is just me thinking out loud. I'd like to know if we're in a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it matter if I'm on camera?
Because people want to see you.
No, I don't
Part of the
believe that.
show.
I don't believe that to be true.
That's a great
Also,
question.
when you guys go on like a
Thank you,
heater
Matt.
of a good conversation, it's nice to be able to clip it and see both people who are talking.
I just want people to see the chair and wonder what's going on. Where's the voice coming from?
So I think you're missing the point here a little bit.
Here comes the delivery.
I'm trying to
teach me, old wise one.
I'm trying to keep it as plain as
Shane, can you believe
Ian
I called
Keels.
this idiot 6 times yesterday? That would be 6 for the year. We're done.
You did call me a bunch of times yesterday.
You know, it was hard.
And I answered every time.
Dude, I was having a senior moment.
It's true. Yeah, you did call me immediately for a specific reason and forgot the instant I picked up the phone.
Because you answered the phone and what's up, man? Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, so you're gonna blame me for you forgetting?
Yeah, it threw me because I wanted to time you saying it.
And you did a really good job of it, but that's a you problem.
So do you know how hard it is to hear when you pick up the phone now that it's not like coming off a
yeah, it's not like a
so I was like, ooh, pause. Did he answer? Did he pick up? Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, man? Every time, Sasha. Hey, what's up, man? Anyway, I did finally remember at home and I called you back.
yeah.
Thank you.
That was time number 6. Was the last one when you remembered.
I stuck it in my thigh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Natasha was in the room when I answered the last time, and she's like, "What are you guys talking about?"
Oh, because she's just hearing what you're saying.
Yeah, she's just hearing my end of the conversation.
It's probably awkward.
And I was like, "Yeah, you can put it in your butt or your thigh." And she's like, "What?"
That would have been funny. I went with the thigh though.
We were talking about our
Like that, like
our next gen peptide injections.
Yeah.
And-
Peptides? It's like you lit up. I'm like,
Well, you know,
you love that stuff.
I do like that kind of stuff. I find it fascinating.
Yeah. I hope it's okay.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
It's such a baby needle.
Yeah, it's just a little subcutaneous needle.
So I'm a little worried that like I didn't like the thigh. I should just put it back in my tummy.
Well, you could try the other option I gave you too.
That's even fattier.
No, it's supposed to go under. It's supposed to go into the fat.
Yeah, I know, but it's a baby needle. So I would like a bigger
Why?
depth.
But if it's supposed to go into the fat, the baby
Yeah,
needle
but
gets you-
it's so it normally goes here.
yeah.
There's not a ton.
No, that's too high. You need to be like down here.
It just has to be 2 inches from my belly button.
Yeah. It's subcutaneous. As you get under the skin and into the fat layer, you're good.
All right. Here's to being good.
As somebody who's been doing injections and stuff for like 30 plus years, like you're gonna trust me on the needles. That's all. That's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna challenge you because I don't really like the heat that's coming off of your vibe. I would challenge you to start over, go back 35 minutes, actually 8 hours and 35 minutes to Bam Adebayo scoring, and I'd like you to flush it.
no, I'm not gonna do that.
You're very crabby.
I'm gonna be mad at him forever.
It's not his fault, man.
It is his fault. They're up.
It'll at least force people to look up his real name.
They're up by like 30 points, He could just be like, "Hey, coach, I'm good. You can take me out." Remember when Kobe had 60-some at the end of the third quarter and they're beating the hell out of somebody? He's like, "No, coach, I'm good."
So I didn't realize you honk for Kobe.
Dude, Kobe was like one of my guys.
Yeah.
Now I switched late in career, like Steph became my guy, but like my eras of my favorite NBA players were Jordan, Kobe, Steph.
Do you know Bam Adebayo's real name?
No, I do not.
Gosh, I was gonna offer a bet.
I would not have taken that bet. I have no idea what his real name is.
Yeah.
I also did not know Cookie Belcher's real name.
Oh, Sagato?
Yeah.
Yeah, I only know that because some of the guys used to tease him. I think you have to look this up.
Okay.
I think it's Sagato Cortez.
Wow.
I think.
That is a name.
And the funny thing is he's from Mexico City, Missouri.
That is hilarious. Yeah, it is Sagato Cortez Belcher.
Cortez is, yeah.
Yeah.
Feed it, or Alvin used to, hey, Sagato. Like, it's childish. That's a tough crew.
So here's my question. He is from Mexico, Missouri.
Yeah.
Where did Cookie come from?
I forget the story. And they were like thick as thieves because Cookie works with T-Lou for the clip joint.
Okay.
And they both dated soccer players.
Okay.
Tehran dated Sheralta Nonan, and Cookie dated Lindsay Edelman. And it's just, I mean, so they've been connected for ever. And they're from virtually the same place in Missouri.
Oh, I didn't realize he was
their family.
Lou's cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the more you know.
Yeah, I don't get an explanation. Wikipedia, I need an explanation on why
T-Lou lived about 4 minutes from me.
Can I get an explanation on Cookie, please?
Yeah. I'm surprised I remembered Cortez, but it was kind of a running joke.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty unique.
Well, you couldn't be around Vincent Hamilton and not get, and Larry Florence. They were going to probably talk about you.
I get got.
Yeah. They played the dozens better than anybody. No one was safe. They'd be like, DB, you don't have to use a helmet with that head. Just play free. I was like, wow, I get it. It's misshapen. That's not very nice.
Dixie, that's foul.
What did Dixie say? I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. Oh, that's tough.
That's what I said. That's foul, man. I didn't even make that joke.
That's tough.
I thought about it.
We did all used to go to soccer games together.
That's nice. Got a little crew.
And who was dating Carrie Uppinghouse?
I don't know.
I'm not going to throw out a name and have it like, wait, he wasn't dating me during that time. That was somebody. And then they're in trouble. Yeah, we all used to go.
TK says, is his first name Bamilton? Alex says, Cookie like Irvin's wife? Yes, Cookie. Is that her real name?
Mm-hmm.
That's Magic's wife's real name is Cookie? Okay.
I think that's her government.
Because Magic is not his real name.
No, it's Irvin. We were well aware. What is wrong with you?
What's that?
I don't know.
Like,
still mad at Bam.
I think it's like it's Adrice. It's Adrice Femi, like Femi LaBouche. Do you know what Femi LaBouche means?
No.
Shut your mouth.
Well, that makes sense. I like Bouche, like Boca. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sierra La Boca.
Yeah, I get it.
But let me go ahead and tell you. Shut your bitch ass up.
Wow, Shane. Jeez.
You said shut your mouth.
Yeah, that's not what you said.
I don't think you could. Like, we're coworkers. I don't really think you could take the liberties to say that. And why would you say that to us?
Oh, that is not her first name.
What's Cookie's real name?
Hold on. It is.
Can't read it.
Erlitha? What was that? I don't think the mic picked it up.
No.
Maybe it's pronounced Erlitha. It's probably Erlitha. No, probably not Erlitha. Like I said it, it's probably Erlitha.
You go with Cookie too?
Yeah, I would go with almost anything else.
Yeah.
That's not a name I've ever heard before.
Yeah.
I've heard the name Irvin. Generally,
Are you just condescending by nature?
not with people that look like Magic, but I've heard the name Irvin before. Irving Berlin, famous composer.
No, that's not it.
Oh, I think there's a G on that. Irving, not Irvin.
I'm gonna need you to grow up just for a second.
So we got Magic and Cookie.
Yeah.
Neither one of their governments.
Magic cookie. You ever had a magic cookie?
I have not. And apparently the people in Atlanta will not be celebrating Magic City either. Thanks a lot, NBA.
Yeah, weird pull. That's a weird flex, but it's okay.
I'm just saying.
Maybe they don't like the made up flavor that my people did of lemon pepper.
Sasha, where are you on lemon pepper wings?
I don't really like lemon.
Yeah,
in general.
I think if you did a consensus, there would be if you did like a straw poll of a variety of people.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be surprised on the feedback.
Women don't like lemon pepper wings?
Sure. I hate when you do that.
Then why are they selling them in Magic City? There's a lot of women over there.
I don't think they're the ones eating.
Oh, you mean they don't get like lunch breaks? I don't know. I'm not familiar with certain establishments.
It's all right.
I'll be honest. I had a lemon pepper wing for the first, I think for the first time.
I'm not a lemon
recently.
Pepper. I'm not a lemon pepper guy.
It was better than I expected.
T-Mac, she can keep her magic cookies. Maybe that's how she got him. You never know.
I mean, somebody's magic cookies is how he got something. That's all I know.
Allegedly.
Wait, so
there's no money in the cure, my man.
Hold on.
What?
Is your Magic Johnson doesn't actually have HIV like my Stevie Wonder isn't actually blind?
Well, I don't like the way you posed the question.
Or Tupac being alive?
No, Pac's alive. I'm probably more certain of that than the whole HIV thing.
A little questionable about. Listen, he had access to the best care.
He did. Have you got everybody in this room has seen Face Off, right?
The Nicolas Cage movie?
Yeah, with John Travolta.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like a long time ago. But that was right around Pac could do it.
You know that's a fictional movie,
yeah,
right?
But it's like Enemy of the State. That's real. But then we weren't thinking like that. You're like, Gene Hackman and Will Smith, they're just paranoid. Now you say something to your phone and then all of a sudden you have 19 coupons of what you said.
So we're taking the jump from surveillance state to face swapping technology.
Correct.
Okay. Where are we on Sharknadoes?
No, those can't fly.
Okay.
They breach, but they can't fly. Okay, you guys. So you do know that El Chapo's nephew had a facelift.
A facelift?
Yeah, he changed the way he looked to stay running from the law.
Different than you and another person swapping faces.
Well, no, the theory is that Tupac doesn't look like Tupac anymore.
Yeah, that's different than a face-off situation.
Well,
a face-off situation is if you and me went to the doctor and be like, switcheroo.
I'm feeling some vacuum sealing tendencies. I'm telling you, this has happened before. People have gone undetected by changing the way they look.
That is true. That is not the same thing as Nicolas Cage and John Travolta switching faces. Those are different things.
So apparently you haven't. You do know that Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based on a real story.
I do. Ed Gein.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good pull. Did you watch that on Netflix?
I did not. I read the Wikipedia.
Yeah. So I attempted to watch that on a flight to California for UCLA, and I was worried that people sitting next to me and behind me would think I was a loser. So I didn't get back to it. Should I not have been offended? I should get to watch what I want, right?
Probably not a good choice for a plane.
I also don't think they'd think you were a loser. I think they think you're a psychopath.
Serial killer. Yeah. Loser's not the term I would have gone to for sure.
I thought she was gonna say something like that made me feel better.
Absolutely not. That was a wild,
Nice setup.
wild.
I don't think they're gonna think you're like the delivery was one in which was gonna be fairly uplifting. Nah, not this crew.
So wild miscalculation on your part.
That's my bad. Wait, did I say what? Juan, how do you? I can't hear Juan's voice. How did I say the?
I didn't have any issue with the way you said. Now I'm self-conscious.
Shane, what do you call the things that you use to take to
get a discount?
Great clips, where they give you like $5 off your $7
What I
haircut?
just say.
Shane, you haven't said anything. That doesn't apply here.
What?
Where's the foul?
What do you call the discount little tickets that you hand the guy? What are they called?
Oh, you call him a discount code?
I hate this dude. What do you call them?
Well, now I'm in my head about it. Coupons.
Yeah, isn't that what I said, Juan?
That's what I thought. I think he's saying
Why do you queue it up?
coupons. Coupon sounds weird.
Some people say coupons.
I know it sounds a little goofy. I say coupons, like a pool cue. Coupons.
Huh.
The CUE, I think is how I pronounce it. Coupons.
It phonetically though, it would be coup.
Yeah, like a chicken or no, like a
No, because it's COU as in couples. So it would be coupon. No, it would be coupon.
yeah, like a chicken coop. Coupon.
No. COUP
Yeah.
is
Coop.
how do you spell couple?
COUPLE.
And what's the enunciation for couple?
Couple. So you want to call it a cup?
up. Like
So you
up,
want to
like
call it a cup on? I don't. The couple thing is throwing me here, man. I don't know where.
your delivery is. I just want to like.
So like Coupe de Bill?
Shut up.
Yeah, like a Colt 45. Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
That's incredible.
You can roll through the park after dark.
It's, it's.
Huh? So how do you pronounce it?
Well, it's like what? I just never heard it pronounced that way. I just no. This dude dropped the match, walked away, and was like, "What? What I do?"
He said, I was shooketh. I say coupon.
Oh God, the A Train. That's such a stupid song.
Anytime somebody says Coupe de Ville, that's the first thing I think of. I don't know why. Probably a misspent youth.
This was just off to a beautiful 30-minute start of sports talk.
Jay Saudi says, thank you for that, Ravi. I was thinking, Couple doesn't even make sense.
He's supposed to be my guy. I told you he's an equal opportunity offender. It's fine.
El Wall says, cupping.
It's a bad 2 minutes. So it's a bad 2 minutes.
Listen, it happens. It gets away from all of us a little bit.
It's a bad 2 minutes.
You want me to set up the show?
Yeah, do that.
Coming up on the show today, we got Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7
I saw BC yesterday.
at 8 o'clock. Yeah?
Yeah.
Down at practice?
BC was moving fast.
Talking about practice?
Practice.
Not a game.
Yeah.
8:30, we got Andy Kendeigh from KETV.
I did not see Andy yesterday, but I did see Lauren.
At 9:30, we've got Mitch Sherman from The Athletic.
I saw Mitchell.
At 9 o'clock, we're not going to have a show for 30 minutes because Coach Barthel bailed on us.
Yeah, so we're gonna quick reschedule.
We're just going to shut it down from 9 to 9:30. It'll be just a nice little moment of solace and silence and
program reset. I mean, I don't know why would anyone say that.
Yeah, German descent. I don't know why they'd say that either, Coach. Damn it.
No, that's ridiculous.
Chris says from German descent, Coupin. Yeah. Trying to avoid things from German descent lately. It's a little dicey sometimes, depending on what era it's from. That was a good poll, Shane. That was a good poll. Program reset. No, I suppose we'll continue to talk at 9 o'clock, even though it's all right. I had things planned anyway because
Isn't it only Tuesday?
no, it's Wednesday.
Maybe that's
We're halfway there, big guy. We got it.
So I'm tweaking. I'm just tweaking, right? Tweaking.
just a dick.
Maybe it makes people click on more things. I don't know.
God, it's incredible.
Ken says the way it's been going today, half hour of dead air might be good.
Ken's kind of a crab apple.
I know.
Sometimes.
I don't think he likes the fun as much as everybody else does.
I think it's awesome.
Oh God, I hate you.
Tyga's big fan of Shane today. Shane's on fire today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fire
Tyga's
anyone
good
else.
for if you're having a bad day. Like he's.
Do you know him?
No, he just is very
yeah.
complimentary.
Yeah. Wyatt
He's
says,
kind of an encourager.
Wyatt says my last name is German. I'm offended. Wyatt, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I haven't seen your ancestry.com. I think that's a name that isn't directly related to your heritage. He told us he was adopted. That's not a secret. Now, I was the person that I met one other Korean person that was adopted, and I was like, does Wyatt have a sister?
Your self-awareness is low. You just say anything.
So I think you're misreading it. My self-awareness is very high. My give a bleep is very low. You're assuming I don't know what I'm doing as I'm doing it. That's not the case. These are conscious choices.
Oh, all right.
Todd says his last name is German. It translates to honest or honesty. Or honestly, excuse me. Apparently, Chris's trainer from PayPal pronounced it Aaron.
See, it's a bad 2 minutes, guys.
Jose Bueno says Ravi needs tenure and union protection.
It's a bad 2 minutes. Oh, no, Eric.
Well, let's take a quick break here.
Elizabeth Warren makes her way into the chat.
Did not have that on the bingo card today. Apparently, I don't remember. L. Walls, he says, mine too means young lord.
We're too far from grass now. I got to get on the elevator. It's
There's
too far
a
away.
little putting green out there. If you need to just rub your hand up, maybe take a putt, see if we can. It's not the same thing, but
I need a break. I really don't like you. I'm just letting you know.
Tank Coyote says 1/16 Cherokee. Lee, we're going to take a break after this. Lee says, I'm German. My cousins are adopted. I'm not as offended as the Asian. To be fair, it is in his name. It's in his name, Asian Wyatt. I'm sure that's all he meant. You warned me about Lee. You.
I think I almost got a nosebleed. Oh, yeah.
They can't stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, see, Wyatt thought it was funny. We're good. TK says you guys should have a roll of sod behind you so DB can touch it. And so we all can see. We should.
I need some sod.
We should
so
get
if you
a
guys
little
got a good
patch of grass out here.
good vendor, I
You
need
know?
some sod.
We need to get one of those memorial pieces, where they've gotten a box that's like from a stadium or something.
Does he do sod? Or just the landscaping portions? But landscaping's got to include sod. Okay.
Call your boy.
Zip it. You're not my friend.
Dank says Rule knows a sod guy. They did some grass over there.
I'm over you.
All right.
And you're not letting me off the hook.
Yes.
It's very uncomfortable.
It's okay to be positive, too.
Let's take a quick break here. We'll get to Brian
Did Penn State
Christopherson
lose to UCLA?
from Husker 24/7 coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for President Gold and for Troy for their belief and their trust in what we're doing for this program. And, I'm beyond excited to sign a long-term contract. We absolutely love it here. And, I think you saw with the whole family back in the building and, the history that we have in this state and then this university, with my parents both being Southeast graduates and, being, Dad got his PhD here at Nebraska. My mom got her degree from here as well. And, both grandparents having a big role in the faculty here. And, it's just really exciting for me knowing that this is, most likely where I'm going to end my career. And it's, to me, it's a credit to all the people that you surround yourself with. I'm really thankful, starting with my staff and, everybody that's helped us get to this point. And then the players, going all the way back, to, when we got things flipped here and, really all the way back to that first year, some of the guys I really enjoyed coaching.
I would just say just sticking to the game plan. The coaches are going to put a great game plan together, and we just got to go out and execute it. At the end of the day, the coaches can't play for us, but they can put us in a position to do what we need to do to get the win. So really just playing hard and then focus on our recovery after we get wins as well. Not doing anything outside of basketball, really, just going there strictly business. I think really just playing fast. We were able to get them in a lot of rotations, and we've always been a pretty unselfish team, so just making the extra pass, and we were able to hit a lot of shots in that second half especially. So when the ball's clicking like that, I think it gives the shooters a little bit more rhythm. So.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by NextGen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by our friend Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7. BC, what's going on, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
B Sizzle. I like that. That's Adidas, right? That's a pretty sweet color. What is there a team associated with that zip up?
No. I was at a golf course with my dad and brother in Iowa. My dad did not feel I was dressed appropriately for the collar rule they had in the clubhouse, and he kept saying, Bud. Because I had kind of a mock collar. He's like, Bud, I don't know if they're going to let you go off with that. And so I went and bought like an $85. It has some logo of whatever club it is on it.
But
it's one of the most BC things ever.
Yeah.
Dude, your guys' relationship through you over all these years sounds spectacular. I'm totally jealous.
Just a bunch of dudes talking in a monotone to each other. That's what it is. Yeah. I was Bud before Bud Crawford. I'm sure a lot of kids were Bud growing up from their dads. That's like I feel like a go-to nickname. But before school, it was always like Bud, you got to get up. And so in this case, it was like you got to put a collar on and like show a little class once in a while. That's what he was saying in this one.
How much of the Bud was infused with disappointment that you didn't come with a collar ready?
There was definitely that. My dad is always worried about my attire on the golf course if it's up to the level of where we're at. I'm more worried about our pace of play if I want to turn it back on him. So we both have our things where we go at each other as like, all right, boys, let's just throw a ball down. I'm the like, let's throw a ball down and go guy. And my dad and brother might look another minute longer than I would for the golf ball. So we each have our things.
How many practice strokes typically, BC, before the approach?
For me, I take one swing and go.
Yeah.
That's me. Everybody in the family is a pretty quick player. There's one in the extended family who's not, but I won't mention on the air. He should know who he is, but I don't think he does.
Hey, Bud, you're slow.
Hey, can we pick it up a little bit?
Rapido.
Can we pick it up a little bit here?
So BC, yesterday you're in just like jeans and a nice little sweatshirt. Today you go out, you may have to wear a hat and a coat, man. Like, did you get a little dusting this morning?
Yeah, we did. My wife had to head over to Union Pacific and woke me up. It's like, yeah, there's snow on the ground and all this stuff. And so I had to get the garbage out because I'm a last minute garbage guy too. So there was a little bit of a chaos at about 6:50 a.m., but it's kind of I'm awake now. Like I'm more awake for this half hour segment than I usually am. I feel like because of it. So maybe that's a good thing.
Do you have some surprise garbage picker uppers too? Because I'd like a little bit more of a standard time, but it's a dice roll in the old Benning neighborhood.
No, they're standard. They're like 7 usually on the dot here, but I like to practice my 2-minute drill every week. I think it's important to stay polished on that, on my scramble drill.
Can you take 2 cans at once? Or do you never have 2 trash cans?
No, the biggest challenge is we've got stuff that shouldn't talk about on the air. Really, it's we have a
to this show.
we have a poop box in the backyard. We have 2 fairly big dogs, and so the poop box is pretty loaded up. And so that's always like you got to drop. I have to take that around, drop it over the fence line, come around the other side and get it. And occasionally, once or twice, the poop box has fallen apart on me, and that's been a real situation.
That sounds.
But I always struggle what to do with the little individual because we have a poop removal guy, but occasionally you like go on a walk or something and you take
like
the little
baggies.
Yeah, I'm not interested in putting those in the trash can until the last second.
Yeah, this is a last second thing. So it always happens at like 6:55, and there have been a couple of like Chernobyl moments where the poop has come through the box. But anyway, today went fine. I was a little worried about it because of the sogginess of the box, but it was executed flawlessly. I got a touchdown.
Score! Tim says, DB, you could vacuum seal those.
There's all sorts of stuff. I always know there's all sorts of stuff that could be done at a much more efficient level than I do things. But once I'm set, like in something I've done it this way for so long, it's just like, nope, this is how I do it. So
I am not vacuum sealing poo.
No,
You're incredible.
I have had the situation, BC, where like for some reason, if I didn't have to get up that morning, I would have that moment of panic when the you hear the truck and it wakes you up and you're like, oh, gotta go.
Right.
And you're just
I've been there
out there. Yeah.
BC,
Okay.
you were very so when that door opened yesterday, a lot of guys and gals were kind of trotting to get to the, to maximize the minutes. You were very deliberate. When did you know where you were going?
I was sprinting, knocking over old ladies, and yeah. I was going everywhere because Bruns says, hey, shoot everything you can with your little iPhone.
That dude can walk fast.
He's a fast walker, tough to keep up. I think he doesn't say it, but I think he gets frustrated with me when we're in traveling and I trail behind him. But I don't know. I started with the O-line just because they were right in front of me. Saw a big tree right off the bat. Like big tree jumped out at me immediately. Paul Mubanga. I like the look of those guys. That's no surprise. The three newcomers. I thought Claude and Puma looked good for a young kid. Who just got here. At least body type I'm talking. That's basically all these observations are based on. But then I went over to sort of the defensive line and the edge rushers sort of in the back end, and I was watching them for a while, and I was kind of struck by Roy Manning and how he had those guys. That was a rough drill they were going at, I thought, with the sled where they had to keep their feet and they'd have to hit it again 3 times. And Anthony Jones stuck out to me, a guy who was talked over in the portal, I would say, by most media and fans. If you would say who's somebody who has come up the first half of spring ball and listening to Rob Orich and guys talk as much as anybody, it's been Anthony Jones, honestly.
Yeah, I think the two guys that were talked over the most actually may be two of the more important additions, and that's Mubanga and Jones.
Yep. Mubanga, I've heard good things. You've probably seen good things from him on that line so far in spring. And that was an elbows out portal recruitment, and with a great story delivered about Jeep Wade. And you're seeing it also like with high school recruiting and the type of prospects they're in on and how guys respond to them. But I mean, people remember Mubanga came in to Lincoln for a visit and then went to a couple SEC schools afterward. Alabama was among those that was in the hunt. And Jeep, as Rule said, was like, no, this one's going to be ours. And they made it Nebraska's. And I know there's a lot of variables at play there, but that's an impressive get. And so far, I can see why they fought for him.
BC, as you're going kind of through your stations here, you mentioned the offensive line. Is there mostly it was individual drills, right? It was not mostly individual stuff. What did you? Yeah. Did you feel like there was a place where you found yourself wanting to see more that you didn't get a chance to get over to?
I don't get to ever see as much of the DBs and as I would like in those settings because they're sort of on the very far end of the field the way it's set up. And so for what I'm doing, it's tough for me to get in on those guys. So I never really can have much of an observation that means anything about them. And that's a group that I'm certainly intrigued by, as I've talked about on this show. I think there's really good battles at safety and corner going on. So that would be one spot I would say. Ravi, but I spent a lot of time watching the QBs and the receivers as they sort of went through some drills, including kind of extending plays. And I thought that was interesting just for the fact that you're watching the words of Saturday. If people listen to the press conference with Dana Holgorsen and talking about how he's kind of leaning into that with Calandria's skill set and his extension of plays and how receivers can play off of that, and then watching them try to kind of work that out as obviously it's in progress right now. But I can see why there's some at least buzz about Calandria and how being off schedule doesn't mean you actually have to be off schedule as an offense, so to speak. Like you can have sort of a controlled chaos in those situations. And it was intriguing to just kind of watch it as it's starting to build.
So, BC, I'm curious if you were looking at this at all or noticed anything at all. How did you see the quarterbacks kind of interacting with one another?
I mean, I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. I think Calandria is, like everybody says, he's got the swag and all that, and sometimes that's just your spring talk. But it makes sense to me that's a real thing, like the way he sort of interacts with guys in between plays. And I saw him and Latif going over some stuff, between a couple of their drills. And, it felt like that they had good communication ongoing. And, I go back to, I try to take what I see in our little time, because I know it's so limited and only means a little bit, and then actually just apply that to like stuff we've actually heard. Because I do value the interviews that we have with guys and what they say. And I go back to Saturday when Dana said, TJ is getting a lot from watching Anthony and just how the speed he plays at, the speed he does things at, how quick he is in his reactions, and he's a quick processor, and that's every part of it. And so it was good to see those two get in their heads together a couple times while we were over there. And again, it was only for like a half hour, so I don't want to act like we saw everything or a whole bunch.
I think it's interesting though, because there's something about, and it's hard to describe until other people see it, because sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to myself. But I was telling Ravi over these last handful of weeks, like the offense just moves, it's quicker. Like it has more like guys just kind of moving around, and I don't really know what to attribute it to. It's not really like it's an up tempo thing or whatever. But to the point of what Coach Holgorsen said on Saturday, then you seeing it, it's almost like everything these guys are doing at the quarterback spot is with pace, right? Like it's just kind of how they're, and maybe it's just AC. I don't think so though, because I think even Latif and Danny are just moving quicker, like to where they're going. It just seems like it's a little peppier. I don't know what that means. I just know that the optics are that it's fast.
Yeah, I could see that. I would think that everybody around the QBs too on that offense has to have a little pep in their step. Just when you have a quarterback where the length of the play, it has a longer lifespan sometimes. And if you're a playmaker, you have to love that. Like just the idea that like, just whatever doesn't materialize maybe in the first 3 or 4 seconds of it doesn't mean it's dead in the water. In fact, there's an act 2 that we are prepping for where we expect to get things done in that act 2 of the play sort of. And if I were a wide receiver, I'd get kind of jacked up about that. Like I thought it was interesting when Holgorsen said how Rule showed him like, tape of Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt and the stuff they did off schedule and how they really made that a forte for their offense, like that was something where they expected, because guys, the QB knew where the receiver was sort of going to spin out to and the space he might hit and vice versa. And even when the defense thinks they have you off rhythm, they actually don't, because you've drilled this for 6 months. And so it was just really interesting, because Dana was definitely fired up about it Saturday he said, "I'm fired up about it." I'm good. That's the quote, but you could see it in his voice or hear it in his voice, that that's something that he sees a lot of possibilities in.
BC, if you had to plan out the most ideal version of how the quarterback situation plays out, not just this year, but knowing what's in the pipeline as well. So you've got obviously the room of the three main guys this year. Obviously, you've got Trey Taylor coming in after that. Latif will still be here. Like, if you're in Nebraska and you're like, hey, in a perfect world where we can keep all the guys in line where we want to, how does that play out for you?
Well, I mean, Anthony is that dude this year, and then Latif gains a lot of steam from the experience behind him. If you were talking like perfect world, like you're having this dream scenario,
yeah.
Anthony is mostly healthy, but there's some situation or two where TJ is called on and does all right, and he's still around, and then Trey comes in, and Danny obviously is here too, and just keeps that competition rolling. I mean, I think a lot of my answer to your question would go to actually TJ Latif in that scenario, and just like him continuing to build his base so that he's, ideally still here next year, and like right in the hunt, and feels like he can be that guy. And again, I don't want to act like they've named the starting quarterback already, but if you go over there and you watch things, it's obviously that it's obvious that the Anthony's, I think, setting a tone.
When you're watching the run game, can you separate it from the offensive line play, or do you watch it as kind of this thing? And I only ask that in comparison to like last year, because I think we thought Emmett was kind of just Emmett and the O-line was just the O-line, but this O-line looks a lot different than it did a year ago. Can you look at those two independent of each other?
Yeah, I think I could, but I mean, I'm just interested what tweaks Jeep has, and like you hear the coaches talk about, this is a little bit different O-line than last year, and I think they really like their mobility, and they want to do everything they can, it sounds like, to get those guys out in space and use their athleticism. Like Dana tossed in there Saturday, like that screen game can look good, and you hear that. And then, like, for instance, in our little half-hour session the other day, I watched the running backs, and I'm like, yeah, this should be a team that has like a good screen game, or that should develop into something, because you've got the O-lineman fit to get out in space on the perimeter, and you've got running backs who I think are going to be really good in the pass catching game. And if they can get that timing down, that can be really special. I think the two got to marry well together, obviously, but I don't know exactly how to answer that question, Damon. It's a good one. But I did leave there, and I've been excited about what I've been hearing about the offensive line for what spring is, and I'll leave it there. But I thought they made a real commitment to it in the portal, and then when you put your eyes on it on the field, you're like, okay, that looks good. Like I can envision the five that could trot out there on an opening series, when they're standing out there during that TV timeout, and think like that's nice. That visual looks right to me of how you want a front five to be. And so I think they've done a nice job giving the parts there. And as you guys, I think, know, I'm not as like down or like overly concerned about the running backs as other people. I'm just not. I think they're going to be okay, and I think they have a chance to be much better than okay, actually.
BC, if you got to watch, I don't want to disparage what was available yesterday, but if you got to watch real practice, not just individual stuff, right?
Yeah.
What would be, and I'm not talking about a scrimmage, let's take that off the table. What would be a type of drill or like some real football that you would want to actually watch? Like, where would your eyes gravitate towards in that situation?
I mean, I'd love to see this D line when you actually get down to it, and you got to bring guys to the ground, and sort of what that looks like. And then I'd like to see this offense operate in sort of 2-minute drills. I think it would be really interesting with, Anthony and some of those wide receivers who now have a lot of experience, just sort of what that looks like and how Anthony kind of controls himself in those moments. So that would be like specific stuff that would interest me. The goal line, red zone stuff would be stuff I would be drawn to, just for the fact that we talked it to death last offseason for fair reason, because the defense let them in too much, and the offense had a few that went begging that they need to improve their touchdown percentage there, and sort of what they're coming up with the new personnel that they have down there would be really interesting to me.
It's so spread out for you guys. I almost feel bad because it's, they're utilizing all this space. Did you get a chance to watch D-line at all?
I watched a little bit of them.
Or were you more? Did you go towards the edges? I
saw both.
Practice separate.
Yeah, I was over kind of by both of them. Edges, Anthony Jones popped out to me, and then Jasir Whittington I was watching a little bit, and I
quick, man. You could tell he comes from a place where he's Pittsburgh. He's been well coached. Whittington has.
Yeah, it seemed like that. The quickness definitely stands out even in our itty bitty time over there. Beyond that, I don't want to go too far with it. It was good to see Owen Stoudemire out there. I'm interested what he can become and how he can help this defense. But Whittington was probably the guy that sort of stuck out to me. I guess the other name, and this goes to press conference stuff, but seeing him out there then, because I know he's been injured a lot during his career, is Sua Lafotu. I mean, it's pretty interesting to hear him come up from the DC as a guy who's flashing. And you talk about, in our day and age in college football, Damon, we kind of move on from people too fast. Like back in the day, it was very common for a guy. Sometimes he would be kind of behind the curtain for 3 years, and then he'd pop up suddenly as a fourth-year junior or whatever. You're like, okay, this guy can contribute now. And I hope we don't lose our way with that. That's still important to have those type of guys. And, maybe
candidates on defense for that.
Who else would you say?
I'd keep an eye on a guy like Jeremiah Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of been around. I think we forgot about him. Yeah. We look at Odom as this shiny new toy. We've talked about Marshall. I would keep an eye on JJ Charles.
Well, he's got some freak athleticism himself too. So
I think his headspace is good.
Good. He popped up. Remember, was a year ago or 2 years ago, and unfortunately, it was like one series against against UCLA in the game with Quasi.
Yeah,
it was here. Start. Yeah, and it was sort of a bad opening series, and I felt like, I could see where that would be tough mentally, like to kind of bounce back from, or it's a big moment and you give up a play or two. That's such a tough position. You got to be so mentally strong. So sometimes those guys, though, they build up that thick material over their third or fourth year where they're ready for that stuff now. So that'd be awesome if he did that. But yeah, Sua, I thought looked good, and it's cool to hear his name pop up because he's somebody that frankly nobody was mentioning at all.
Yeah, he worked his tail off too. You see how his body type has changed, right? He's paid a price the last year, I think, to kind of to get his body right too, which is a big part of it. Because Coach Orch talked about his twitch. I mean, a lot of it is the work ethic, I think, that he put in with his body type too.
Yeah, and I watched the linebackers a little bit. I didn't get to see enough like actual drill work to form a big opinion, but what I did think was if you were to say what looks completely different just off the bus to you, it's linebackers, just with Foster and Chambliss in that room. I mean, Dexter Foster, Brunson and I both came back, and he's shooting the photos, I'm shooting the video, and like again, this is just off the bus talk, but our first name was Dexter Foster. Jeez. Like, you see the 6'3", 235 on the, website. but then you actually see it in person. You're like, that's legit. So I don't know what it looks like between the lines. It sounds like it's looked all right. But that's a impressive looking kid. And that's a guy that actually, if people paid attention closely, Orich had sort of had his eye on for a bit. And also our Chris Hummer within our CBS network did like a top 100 under the radar guys from the portal. And it was a good piece because it was based off like what GMs and personnel guys around the country say. And they said Nebraska got one in Dexter Foster. So it's all kind of adds up to me when I saw him.
Yeah, it sounds like the safety's like playing behind him too. As a guy, like from a trust standpoint, because that's a lot of it, right? When you have to fit in the run game,
makes their life easier.
It just is a ton easier, man, when you trust what's in front of you. Same for linebackers with D-line. I talk to RVP all the time, and I told him it's like he's 2 inches taller, right? And I just mean his shoulders are upright, his head's up, he's smiling, and he said, "Man, he goes, I just have more confidence." He goes, "My coach is just injecting confidence in me. Like I just feel better." I just pat him on the shoulder, man, and I'm like, you can tell, like he just carries himself like he feels better about
RVP.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So just little things like that are get a new fresh set of eyes from some of these guys, and it's tabula rasa, right? The clean slate. I think guys, those dusting off those guys that have kind of been around that we think we know about, I have the potential to look different.
That's what the season.
They feel different.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's what the season's so much about. We do talk about the shiny new toys a lot, but this was a team that I think retained more than about, a higher percentage than most teams around the country. And there's a lot of belief in like, hey, we think we've got the players that can win here that have been in this program. It's just another year of development and coaching them right, the right scheme, right technique, and they can be something. And Riley Van Poppel's the perfect example. And I know people think like every year when there's new coaches there, we're always like gushing about them. That's not been the case. I don't always say it about everybody. I think Roy Manning and Corey Brown, so far in the small sampling I've seen of them, just how they talk and just kind of watching them and what I've heard, I'm really impressed with both of them. Like just those hires. And I think those guys are getting some really good detailed coaching there.
You know how this is just facts, and I'm not apologizing for how people receive the information because that's on them if they want to just be skeptical. But the facts are, when you get a guy like Aaron Terry to show up at practice, who's welcomed, who's well received, who was a finalist for the defensive line job, I think that's public knowledge. Everybody knows that. Who's back at practice watching and has admiration for a guy like Corey Brown, who he has a lot of familiarity with. But even the interviewing process, to respect those that interviewed you, that didn't give you the job, to be right back at it, quietly, I think, speaks volumes to how the organization is ran from a professionalism standpoint, right? Because if somebody didn't hire me, I'm probably not hanging around a ton unless it went a certain way. And then to compliment or to be a fan of somebody else that got the job instead of me, not only speaks to Coach Terry, I guess, but kind of how this whole outfit went about the diligence in terms of hiring a defensive line coach.
Yeah, that is that's a great point. You would not see that very often.
No.
That's for sure.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
Like you're back in front of the people that interviewed you. And it's like no big, it's like that just, I don't know, man. I just, the amount of respect and the professionalism has to be at a high level.
Yeah, Aaron's a great coach. Obviously, has great results. Will continue to. But I didn't know that, so that's a great story to hear on the air about what you're saying. And I just Corey Brown and just how when he went up to the podium, I just liked it. It was sort of no nonsense. It's like, it wasn't too rah-rah, but it was just like you could tell that he was going to motivate guys and like, we're going to get in the weeds of defensive line play, guys. Let's go. Like, that's what this spring's going to be about. And then you watch Manning over there and, of all the drills in our little half-hour setting where you're like, okay, that would take something out of you. I thought Roy Manning was putting his guys through something. And
yeah, we're still in that. We're still in that drill.
Yeah, yeah. He was.
It's a lot. It's like a 3-in-1.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a fantastic drill.
And great teaching was going on during it too. Like even a layperson like me, I was like, okay, I get it. So I like what they have with that group, and I think they've hired well on that defensive side. I really do. Like you would obviously know more about Coach Yelk than I do, but I saw his interview he did with Jessica that you mentioned last week, and
I like him.
Yeah, he was very good at talking football, and like you could see where he would be a guy who could explain stuff well that is going to process with guys.
It's kind of funny. That's the last one for me, BC. I think it's funny how quickly we've forgotten that we were not enamored with the name Corey Brown when it first came up.
Nope.
It was.
I mean, I'm not reading into that, you guys, right? I mean, Coach Terry's there. He's watching D-line. He and Coach Brown are chopping it up. That's a job that he wanted. He had to interview with Coach Rule and Coach Snow and those guys. He's welcomed around. I mean, just the vibe that goes around that, I think, speaks volumes.
Yep, it does. Omaha North family, right? I mean, the Terrys, Omaha North. That's how we're cut from a different cloth, Damon.
Yeah, I get it.
The hashtag build different.
Via.
BC, we appreciate the time as always. Sharp looking quarter zip. We love it.
Thank you.
Talk to you next week.
BC, I have one quick question because I know you'll be honest with me. If I was talking to you and I was sitting on the floor and you couldn't see me, would that be awkward, or would you just have the conversation?
I'd just have the conversation. At least you put your Nerf gun away this week, Damon. I appreciate the professionalism there.
Oh, thanks, Brian.
I'm joking. I'm joking. You can have the Nerf gun out anytime, and you can sit down on the floor where I can't even see your head. That's fine.
Thank you.
Don't worry. Sasha will move the camera. If
I
that
appreciate
happens.
the support.
Appreciate it, BC. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, B.
See you guys.
That's Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7.
I wasn't joking either. Like, kind of guys came in and gals with kind of the slow trot, and they were getting all set up, moving fast, right? Because they want to be efficient.
Members? Yeah.
My man BC was like,
can't be rushed.
You can run down and get one, or you can walk and get them all. That was my man,
Listen,
BC.
you had to crowd around that quarterback drills.
So, into Brunts, I know some people may question his athleticism, but he had this great, big, long, probably $7,000 camera in one hand. Is long, too. He's carrying it with one hand, and he ran by, and he dapped me with the other.
How'd that go?
Knock it off.
Hold on.
What have you got there?
I'll be you. You be
I
Brunts.
keep forgetting I'm on camera.
Right. So you're Brunts. You got the camera. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me,
so
let me give this to you. This is your camera. All right. You hold that.
Yep,
There's
that's
your
about how
camera.
long that thing
There's
was.
your camera. You're holding that.
So Brunts was moving super fast.
So what were you doing? Where am I? I'm right here.
I'm leaning against the wall and by myself. And Brunts is like,
all right, don't get clotheslined by the my court here.
it was pretty fast.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
It's a big old long thing. All right, Brunts. Good athlete.
What have you got there?
I mean, is this what people signed up for when they watch our shows, just to see how
I think so.
spastic we could be?
I think they're here for the nonsense as much as they are the sports.
All right.
Well, apparently they want us to take a break now. I guess we're taking a break. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Let's Hurrdat
Shane thinks
Sports Live.
he's slick with the music. I get it. We have to talk to AK-47, but man, that's
What have you got there?
Oh, I keep forgetting I'm on camera.
Shane,
it's just a Nerf gun. It's my attention span. I am so sorry.
Shane, go to break.
Tough crowd.
Do we have to go to break?
Yes, go to break.
Apparently.
You played the music. Go to break.
Jerk face.
Yeah, I think, coming off the 2 tough losses at home and the fashion with which we lost those 2 close games, to go on the road and have a really complete 20 minutes like we had the last half of basketball was I think a shot of confidence for this group, and hopefully gives us some pretty good vibe moving into New York. It's harder, no question. I mean, obviously they try to disrupt you with their physicality and their full court pressure, and we handled all that really well at their place, but weren't able to get the win, and we turned it over and gave up some offensive rebounds here, and found a way to win that game. So both games were really decided, in close fashion. So I would expect something very similar.
Yeah, I mean it's been an amazing season, and I honestly I never knew if I could get to this point in my career, especially throughout my first 2 years. I really questioned if I could even play at this level, and if I was really meant to be a basketball player. So obviously it's a great honor, but that we don't play this game to get those individual awards, especially on this team. We play to get those postseason victories and win championships. So that's all we're focused on now. Yeah, I think a big part of it has been confidence for me. I really didn't have much confidence my first 2 years. I started to gain more of that, but really the main thing has been my teammates and coaches. Like I've gave them credit all year, and I'll continue to do that. Like this guy next to me setting screens, and my coaches putting me in the right positions and believing in me and having the confidence in me. It gives so much confidence as a player, and I really do just give all credit to my teammates and coaches.
to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Andy Kendeigh from KETV. AK, what's going on, man?
Morning, buds. What's going on? Fellas, what's happening?
7. Hi, Bud. How we doing?
Hey,
Bud's
doing all right.
He said, hey. But so Bud must be the word for the day because BC was telling a funny story about he and his dad calling him Bud. My dad never called me Bud. I think it's primarily because he didn't like me. But how we what? Jeez, AK. What,
Jeez.
you guys, nobody's really been my friend this morning.
Come on, DB. Just dropping that your dad didn't really like you. Come on.
I don't know. Sometimes he cracked my sternum, Andy. I don't know. I kind of made me pause. Ravi's been mean to me. Sasha's been a jerk. Shane is lousy. Like you're all I got until we get to Mitch. And I know he doesn't like me, so I'm running out of options. Man, tough out here.
What I do?
You're just.
Oh my goodness.
AK, how's the morning going for you?
It's all right. Just crush some coffee on my second Diet Coke. We're good. We're good.
How do you take your coffee?
I'm a weenie. I'm a cream and sugar guy in the morning, and then but I followed up with a couple Diet Cokes, and then I'm off for the day.
Is coffee one of those things you found people have the least amount of variance with? Like people that take coffee like it however they like it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can go various ways, but my go-to is couple sugars and it's what do you call it? The sugar in the raw, the brown packet, those. Yeah. So yes, I have a particular way, but if there's nothing available, I'll drink it black, of course. But I've found, and this has been like in the last, 5-7 years, I got to have a cup of coffee to start my day, or else I'm a mess. So, and then I followed up with 15 Diet Cokes during the day.
I'm not going to ask you because you hurt your arm and back, and it was kind of serious.
Yeah.
Kevin Suits threw out his back too, so I guess I'm going to shout out Lauren Michelson. But apparently she's stronger than all you guys because she had that thing mounted on her left shoulder, and she was jogging, AK, the length of the grass football field to get to the next shoot. I'm like, they're not paying you enough, Lauren.
Well, here's the thing, and I apologize to Lauren yesterday. Timing of the availability was just about as inconvenient.
It was late.
Yeah, and then somebody's got to anchor, right? And then we're down a person with Matt. So poor Lauren had to and you're shooting out you're drinking out of a fire hose, right? Yeah. You got to get. Think about it. You got 25 minutes. We have no video of any of these new guys. And you're like, oh my God, I got to get Rob Orich. And, there's Anthony Calandria and there's Quasi Gilmore. And then, don't forget about Owen Chambliss. And your head is spinning. And then you try to get quality video and it's a hard deal. So yeah, bless Lauren, her reward will come someday.
And
God knows it ain't now.
No way.
She's amazing though, and she's a gamer. Like people don't realize how talented somebody has to be in this business, and especially in somebody like Lauren who has to do everything. She's got to shoot, she's got to edit, she's got to take care of Damon on Sundays in terms of getting her iPad set up and all that stuff.
I know her edit game is strong. It has to be if you're going to work with me.
And technology too. Like she's got to get that. I am the old fuddy-duddy I don't know how it happened, but overnight it was like, okay, how do I do X, Y, and Z? And Lauren rolls her eyes like, you idiot. You got, she's like, it's like having one of your daughters at work. Like, Dad, you're doing it wrong. It'd be so much easier if you just do it this way. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. I knew that. So yeah. And she's going to Chicago. She's doing the Big Ten media or the Big Ten basketball tournament this week.
Take it from the media or the technology guru like myself.
Yeah. Isn't it true though? I mean, when did it gets to a point? I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'll learn it when I need to learn it. but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing until I need to learn it. Right.
So I sit next to, sometimes I'm either with Jess on the bus, or I can see her. We all sit, Kyle's next to me and Jess is behind us, or we'll be on the bus ready to go to the airport after a game. And I watch like Jess edit or Kyle edit, and it's like, that's a whole different skill unto itself, right? AirPod in, listen, you type, cut, clip, plays, put it back in, cut. And I'm like, it's moving so fast. I'm like, I that's one thing I probably wish I could learn is how to edit.
I bet if you gave me an hour, I could teach you how to edit basics, the basics.
Okay.
Basics.
What
because
kind of software are you rocking with?
We go Adobe Premiere. Okay. So a lot of that's kind of one of the standards in the industry. So Adobe Premiere is our program, and I'm telling you, DB, the thing that really blows me away is when you can edit stuff on your phone. I haven't conquered that, but I could do the whole laptop thing at Adobe Premiere. But I'm basic. Like there's guys that are in our shop that can do all these different effects and this, that, and the other thing. Just give me the basic stuff, and I'll tell you. I say this to a lot of people. If you watch a lot of sports on TV, you can easily teach yourself how to edit and teach yourself how to shoot, because you know what looks right. And if it looks wrong, your eyes and brain will tell you. And that's you've watched enough sports in your life, DB, Ravi, both of you guys. Give me an hour, I could teach you both.
I'm telling you, the GOAT of editing on their phone is Brandon Meyer.
Yeah,
you should have seen him at the bowl game. He's like, I already, I'm team B Meyer, but watching him work and edit on his phone, I'm like, first of all, I thought like he had some special phone.
Right.
It's like an Apple, whatever the number.
Well, you've got an Android. Every Apple phone seems special.
See this.
There you go. Pile on.
Don't encourage this guy. He's a bad guy, AK. But anyway, like to watch him edit on his phone, I was blown away. And
well, aren't you guys blown away? Go ahead.
Phone.
Yeah. Well, aren't you guys I don't normally have time to like sit and watch like an 8 or 9 minute video in the middle of the afternoon, but that piece that the Nebraska media people did on the recap of the senior day game against Iowa was one of the best things I've seen since the turn of the calendar. That was awesome. Like that, it just showed. I don't know. When stuff like that can like move you, that's saying something, and that's what the power of good editing and production can do. And the video, they got every shot they needed, and it's just really amazing what the quality of video production at the school level. And it's not just Nebraska. Nebraska has one of the best, no question, but there's a lot of schools who do great work. I think that has been the biggest difference in media over the last 10, 15 years, is that each individual school has to have a media department with a video department that knows what the hell they're doing, because that is the front porch of their university in terms of showing other people what it's like inside the arena. And I think that Nebraska does it as good, if not better, than anybody in the country.
Yeah, that was my man, Green Eggs and Ham. That was Sam Rice and Drew Suckup. Those guys for the Hoops account, and they're incredible.
Yeah.
And, I don't know Drew as well, but Sam's hilarious. He used to travel with us to do football. He is just a gem. But yeah, you're right. That basketball piece those guys are talented, man.
Yeah. And I just love, and they do great work for, football too. I just love the way that they blend the real-time audio with the video, and that's not an easy thing to do, to capture every good moment and get the shot that actually, I'm an old NFL films guy, so that's where I kind of gravitate towards, and that's pretty great stuff. All that's missing is John Facenda. But you got that with Kent and in basketball. That was a really great production. If people haven't seen it, it's on Twitter, so just take a look, and it is pretty amazing.
AK, what's your schedule like for state basketball this week?
Well, it's interesting. I am, for the first time in 10 years, boys, I will not be saying, here, hand the trophy to the next person, because I've got we've never had to worry about having a basketball team be this good and relevant this time of year. So I'm not doing the telecast this week. Passing the baton to the very, very capable and talented Anna Bellinghausen, I think Anna's doing it Saturday. So yeah, but we'll be all over today and tomorrow, and Lauren and Ben go to Chicago tomorrow, and then Eddie Messel is going to be shooting a whole bunch of basketball for us today for Class A. And that Class A, guys, holy cow, you could make a case for any of the 8 teams in Class A. It's going to be a pretty wide open tournament.
Heck of a toss-up. What's interesting is Prep is actually a 3 that didn't win their district, and for what happened with the district, that puts Millard North at that 4-5 on the same side as West Side now is the one who has to open with Lincoln High. So that's what you get for your troubles.
Right. And you can make a case like Stu has Prep in the finals, and
they're plenty capable.
100%. They get them. They just had an awful night at the district final level. I would not be surprised at all if they're holding up the gold trophy come Saturday.
Should be fantastic. I got one more question, AK. With all that's going on with Nebraska basketball, the softball team off to a heck of a start, top 10, they're OKC or bust. You've got baseball, who's off to the really good conference start after the tough non-con schedule. With spring sports coming, you've got Creighton doing their thing with baseball and softball. Can't forget about Omaha. Coach Hurd's got a heck of a squad going. Coach Porter may have a bounce back year too for Omaha. Do you have how are you going to distribute what everybody's doing, especially because it seems like Eddie's role has changed a little bit lately? You've got him on the hoof too. Like, how have you had to tinker the personnel?
Well, it's been an interesting puzzle to figure out, and a dance with our news department, because Eddie's got one foot in news too. So he's basically the ultimate Tim Tuffle for a Mets fan. He's the utility guy that can play every position. You know what I mean? So Eddie, we get him like 3 days a week more if we need him, in terms of like we can make our case. Like, hey, like today was the day that Eddie was supposed to be in news, and God bless Eddie Messel, because he's got the flexibility and the talent to do everything. And so I went to our higher ups the other day, and I said, hey, I really need Eddie on Wednesday, because we got to get Lauren a day off and before she goes to Chicago, and we got to cover high school hoops. And oh, by the way, Coach Rule talks at noon along with Husker players. And so they are, our people realize the importance of the state tournament. They say, absolutely, take Eddie for Wednesday, and we'll go from there. So it's almost a day by day deal. So we take it day by day, week by week in terms of scheduling. And like next week, hopefully Nebraska gets sent to Oklahoma City, and Lauren and I will be going down there doing shows remotely. So who knows what next week's going to look like? It's going to be it's they call it madness for a reason, right? I mean, that's you just have to be flexible and take it day by day. This is just, I kind of write off the end of February and the month of March in terms of my personal life. I'm like, kids, I'll see you when I see you, but hang in there. I'll pay for everything. I'll make sure the bills are paid.
Well, I mean, that's your only job, right? It'll be good.
Right. Yeah. No big deal.
Hey, AK, let me ask you, were you going to
No, go for
it. So I just want to, I'm curious as a guy that consumes information, right? So obviously there's a little bit of like fan fatigue when it comes to some of the media coverage, right? Where coaches can't say anything, or, they eye roll, they take it out of context, or we maybe take it out of context. When you hear Coach Holgerson talk about the quarterback room, and he says a quarterback is doing something they've never seen before, and all of a sudden everybody rolls their eyes. Oh, it's Kool-Aid, it's hype machine, it's this, that, the other. But if I gave you like the list of quarterbacks that he's had, like, Clayton Tune or Case Keenum or Skylar Howard or Geno Smith. If I was just going to listen to what he's saying and take it at its face value without it being a hype machine, do you understand where he says he could see that he hasn't seen some of the things that Calandria is doing before in his tenure, if you put it against like the Brandon Whedons and the guys that he's coached?
100%. And don't you give the guy some credit that he's built up equity knowing that he's kind of a straight shooter? Not even kind of. The guy's a straight shooter. I give Coach, if he says something like that, of course, look at the quarterbacks he's had in the past. And he's got a guy who can do multiple things very well in terms of, making sure that he keeps a play alive. And, by saying that, that's not saying the guy's going to go out and win the Heisman, right? All he's saying is that he's doing some things on the football field that he's never had to coach before. And I understand that. And people, I think people are tired of the off-season, national championships. I get that. But I think this particular off-season has been the quietest in football that I can ever remember, having been here for, this is 17 springs now. And so when you hear something like that, it kind of takes you back and say, oh, here we go again. I understand where the fans are coming from, but in the same respect, you got to give the coach some credit because he's been around the block a few times and he hasn't worked with a quarterback that can have the mobility to elongate plays like he's doing. And I totally buy that at face value. Take it for what he's saying. Don't try to take it 4 chapters deep. Just take it for what he's saying. And that's what I think that frustrates a lot of people on both sides, that when fans push back like that.
That's Andy Kendeigh from KETV. AK, enjoy the week and everything that's going on. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good week.
See you later, AK. I'll try to catch you in passing.
Sounds good, my friend.
Bye now.
That's Andy Kendeigh from KETV. Let's take a quick break here. We'll be right back with more Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for President Gold and for Troy for their belief and their trust in what we're doing for this program. And, I'm beyond excited to sign a long-term contract. We absolutely love it here. And, I think you saw with the whole family back in the building and, the history that we have in this state and then this university, with my parents both being Southeast graduates and, being, Dad got his PhD here at Nebraska. My mom got her degree from here as well. And, both grandparents having a big role in the faculty here. And, it's just really exciting for me knowing that this is, most likely where I'm going to end my career. And it's, to me, it's a credit to all the people that you surround yourself with. I'm really thankful, starting with my staff and, everybody that's helped us get to this point. And then the players, going all the way back, to, when we got things flipped here and, really all the way back to that first year, or some of the guys I really enjoyed coaching.
I would just say just sticking to the game plan. The coaches are going to put a great game plan together, and we just got to go out and execute it. And at the end of the day, the coaches can't play for us, but they can put us in a position to do what we need to do to get the win. So really just playing hard and then focusing on recovery after we get wins as well. Not doing anything outside of basketball, really, just going there strictly business. I think really just playing fast. We were able to get them in a lot of rotations, and we've always been a pretty unselfish team, so just making the extra pass, and we were able to hit a lot of shots in that second half especially. So when the ball's clicking like that, I think it gives the shooters a little bit more rhythm. So.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by NextGen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are, as we mentioned earlier, going to reschedule Coach EJ Barthel.
Maybe.
We're going to try and reschedule Coach EJ Barthel.
It may bump into Mitch. We may wait till 10. We could do it.
Oh, I just meant at some
tomorrow.
point we're going to reschedule it.
Program reset.
Yeah, because he's like, hey man, what time we going?
I mean, if he's available at 10, we can do a little extra.
No, Coach Rule did call a staff meeting.
Okay.
So he's kind of playing it by ear. Keith was dead on. He let me know.
Okay. I mean, we can do it tomorrow.
I don't know. Maybe we can't do it tomorrow.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. We should stop doing that. You want to blind rank some players since we got an open spot here?
Well, maybe.
Do you remember what the category was?
Random NCAA performances from whomever, but they're all post 2000.
They're all post 2000
is what I believe you told me.
And they are all guys that, at least in the year that they did this,
in the year of our Lord,
in the year of our Lord post 2000.
Okay.
In the year, at least in the year they did this, they were not stars. Like, they may have had good years after. Maybe this was kind of the start, the launching point for them, but they were not stars.
Okay. Can I get one out of the way, or are you just not going to tell me?
No, go ahead.
Because
are you guessing?
Because we've been lamenting about 2008. Is Sharon Collins on the list?
He is not.
Okay.
I'll give you one. This will give you the perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'll give you one.
Give me the team.
Well, if I give you the team, it's a no-brainer.
You think?
For this guy, yeah. There's only one guy from this team. I'll give you a different one. I'll give you a different one to start.
Okay.
Louisville.
That would be Luke. Don't put your hand on my. That's Luke. That would be. I forget. Sometimes I just think we're on the phone.
Yep.
What I just said.
It's
that
Luke,
would be.
Can
that
I
would
get
be,
your signature, John Hancock?
Yes, Luke Hancock from Louisville.
From Louisville. He is He is on this list. Here's the resume. 2013 Louisville win the national title, scores 20 and 22 in the Final Four and championship. He only scored 20 points one other time that entire season. Then he goes back-to-back in the semifinals and finals.
Yeah.
That year, I believe he was in the neighborhood. Most of these guys are like in the 9 to 12 points per game range.
I'm going to put
for their season.
I'm going to put Luke Hancock. There's 5?
There are 5 of these guys.
I'm going to put Luke Hancock safely at number 2.
Okay.
Because Michigan Lance and I, it wasn't a knockdown drag out. It was very informative.
Okay.
Because who did they beat?
They beat Michigan.
They beat Michigan. Who was Michigan's best player?
Trey Burke.
Michigan Lance didn't sleep for a week about the misusage of Trey Burke in that championship game.
So
that was all bad.
Louisville was a menace defensively that year.
Yeah. Trey Burke inexplicably sat at some strange times during that game.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to fight you on that.
Yeah. I will put Luke Hancock at number 2.
Now, Luke Hancock's a guy that the next year he had a nice year. Like, I think he was 18, 19 points a game. Like, he was a good player the next year. But that year, he was a pretty random
There's
guy.
another good player I think you'll probably put on this list that I think is in a similar category.
I will give you the other guy that is most closely in his category in terms of elevating his game after his heroics.
Is it Lee Humphrey?
Nope.
Okay.
There's only 5, so it's not all of them, right?
Do you know where Lee Humphrey played?
I don't have Lee Humphrey off the top of my head.
Florida.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The next one I have, you'll remember him well. Kevin Pittsnogle.
Oh, Pittsnogle was nice.
But the year that he had his heroics, he averaged only 12 points a game during the regular season. Then he goes.
Was that 08? No, that was 7.
05.
Okay.
He goes for 18 points per game in leading the West Virginia Mountaineers to the Elite Eight, including games of 22 and 25. Where does Kevin Pittsnogle rank on your random NCAA heroes?
I'm putting Pittsnogle at 1.
Okay.
Early. It's early. I took the 1 and 2 spots.
Okay.
I think those will be the best 2 players you bring up.
We'll see. Next one.
Okay. I'm due for a turd because I think I've been pretty okay at this.
Next one. Jack Golke.
Mr. 3-point. I don't shoot 2s.
2024, scored 32 points, including 10 3-pointers in Oakland's first-round upset of Kentucky.
Was that the year he only shot like 2 2-point field goals?
I think it was 8 for the entire year. He had like 240 field goal attempts, and 232 of them were from 3.
I will put Golke at 4.
Okay. Number 4, Jack Golke. I'm going to go Doug Edert.
5.
Teach me how to Dougie. 2022 St. Peter's.
Yep, definitely 5. That story was cute. I was so tired of it. I felt like I was force-fed. This is totally personal.
Okay.
I was over the St. Peter's thing. He's going at 5.
My personal favorite, Ali Faroukmanesh.
Oh, that's a good one.
2010, 16 points against Kansas to
Northern
lead
Iowa.
Northern Iowa to the Sweet 16, including maybe the biggest no yes shot in NCAA history.
I feel good about this. I think he belongs at 3, but personally,
maybe it's a
he's
3 or
my
4.
personal favorite.
Personally, and we've talked to him. We've had him on in my previous life. Like, I love him the most, so he would be number 1 in my heart.
So the only
and my best Kevin Kugler fake emotion.
Do you want to try?
By the way, got way too much run for that thing. But
so I've got a random.
I'm gonna go Farouk. I'm gonna go Ali at number 3.
So your list is Pittsnogle, Hancock, Faroukmanesh, Jack Golke, Doug Edert.
Is that not how you would rank them? Probably.
I would have switched Pittsnogle and Hancock, but that's it.
Okay.
Because Hancock got his team to a national championship. That's where I would have made the differentiation.
Do you know how underappreciated Hancock was as a movie?
I like that movie a lot.
It's a great movie.
Do you want to hear my random Ali Faroukmanesh story?
Yeah.
So I was back when I was coaching at Grace.
What if I would have said no? Like, you can't ask a leading question.
I would have moved on.
No, you'd have told it anyway.
No, I'd have moved on. I have other stuff we could talk about.
Oh, that's right. You do kind of have that baby in you.
Yeah, I'll be a petty about it.
Yeah.
If you're like, no, I don't want to hear it. I was like, okay. So here's the other thing I had to want to talk about.
Yes. So it's not fun.
Back when I was coaching at Grace, we used to host. We would host one of the summer leagues that they would do for the smaller college players.
Herringody turned out to kind of be pretty good, though.
Herringody turned out to be good. Hancock turned out to be good. Pittsnogle turned out to be good. But like at the time,
Tiger might be a hoops head.
So Farouk Manesh rolls up to one of these summer league games at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
The team that he's playing for is getting beat by I think 10, 12 points. Ali literally just throws the shoes on. He's probably late 20s, early 30s at this
he's
point.
He's a little guy.
Yeah, he's not big. Like, I don't know what he was listed at. He's my height.
Yeah.
He's a
little guy.
So he throws the shoes on, like just ready to go. Doesn't take any warm-up shots, like checks into the game immediately. Like he gets there as the second half is starting. Immediately just starts wetting people. Just jumpers, right? And my dude, I swear to you, this is a true story. This is how it happened. He gets them all the way back. It's either tied or they're down as they've got the last possession. He dribbles up the floor, hits about a 30-footer, cashes it, wins the game, grabs his bag, walks off, and leaves. It was the most gangster thing I've ever seen in my life. Shows up at halftime, overcomes a double-digit deficit, hits a game winner from about 30, walks off, never says a word to anybody.
Is he still coaching?
Yeah, he's the head coach at Colorado State now, I think.
Yeah, okay.
He took over for Medved. Yeah.
Yeah, because I knew Nico went and got him.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. And I knew he didn't say he's not in Minnesota. So I was just thinking.
It was one of the cool, because I was like, when he came up, I was like, that guy kind of looks familiar. And then he starts hitting jump shots. And I go, is that? So I'm like on my phone, Googling. I'm like, I think that's Farouk Manesh.
Yeah.
And he just did the walk-off Irish goodbye 3-point game, like game winner, out of here.
Yeah.
Doesn't say a word.
DJ says he's not watching any bone breaking videos because the group chat's kind of going ham. That's not even the worst bone breaking video. He was talking about Thiesman.
Oh, no, Kevin Ware's pretty bad.
That's horrible.
Kevin Ware's pretty bad.
That was horrific.
Yeah.
That's the one that immediately comes to mind. Even over Napoleon McCallum, which was.
You're right. You gonna make it?
That was so bad.
So it's not technically a bone break. The McGahee one at Miami is pretty bad.
You want tree truss?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
It because they showed one replay.
Listen, I gave it one of these. Oh no. No. Oh.
It was
I took a knee. Rob, I took
it was so bad.
Oh, I said, please, no, please, Lord, no.
I like
that was my reenactment.
I'll be honest.
Oh, no.
I don't know if that was quite like a Academy Award like Kugler, but that's a Golden Globe at least.
I love Willis McGahee.
So I have for a guy that never played for a team I liked in high school or college. I have a strange affinity for him because this is going to be a strange word to use. I was so proud of him for coming back.
I am so proud.
Like I was just really happy for him. Because that injury was horrifying.
I love Willis McGahee.
You love Miami running backs though.
I mean, it just so happens there's a handful.
You're at like 4.
Portis, McGahee, Edgerrin James.
I thought there was one more.
If you name him, I'll concede because he's not. It's not like an affinity, but I do like his style.
It's not Frank Gore. Who am I missing? There's one
random,
more.
But he was sensational.
Is it Davenport?
Heck no.
No, you're
I'm
like,
not a
who am I missing?
And that dude is a closet pooper.
Portis. I knew Portis. I knew Edgerrin James. I didn't know McGahee. I thought there was 3 before McGahee. Who am I missing? Who's the other one you like?
Duke Johnson.
Oh, that is a random one. That's recent too. That's a different era.
Duke Johnson was nice.
No, he was super nice.
And he has what he has. He's Tay Jenkins. Like Duke Johnson had incredible balance.
Yeah.
Balance is the most underappreciated thing in a quality running back that I can think of, because we always talk about breaking tackle. This is one of the things I want to talk to Coach Barthel about.
Yeah,
because sometimes balance is just balance, and people break tackles a multitude of ways. Sometimes it's power, or whatever. But
you know what you can't break tackles without?
What?
Balance.
Typically, unless you're a truck stick.
Yeah.
Like,
even then, though, like
I don't think Derrick Henry, and I think balance.
Fair. Totally fair.
But he does have good balance.
Yeah. He probably doesn't have elite balance, but he's such a freak.
He's not LaDainian Tomlinson balance.
For guys that are built normally, balance is probably the most important thing in breaking tackles.
Who do you think has the best balance of the current crop of running backs right now?
Oh, of the current crop.
Just balance.
Well, the name that came to mind, I don't think you like very much.
It's one of two, and he had a run yet. Well, never mind. But
oh, you mean Nebraska?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking NFL. Of the current crop of
just
balance. I know you love Mackay. I think Mosey has better balance though.
He does.
Yeah.
He's one. Who's 1A?
Jamal.
No.
No?
No.
Who?
It's Booth.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen Booth run that much.
That dude's balance is.
And let's be honest, when he was playing in high school, he didn't have to use that balance that often.
My man had a run yesterday. I was like,
he's good though.
It's one where you're on the sidelines and you don't think you're ever going to be in the way of the initial run, and then all of a sudden you have to move.
Yeah.
He's
I think better than people realize.
He's pretty good.
But there's I thought you were talking NFL running back balance.
Yeah, that's kind of hard.
It is. The guy that I thought of immediately, I don't think you like.
Well, one guy that I think of immediately, I gush over.
Who?
Kenneth Walker.
Oh, sure.
The other guy is not playing anymore, but I love him. Love him. Love him.
Recently retired?
Yes.
Give me
within the last 5 years.
Give me a team.
Okay. Buffalo.
That wasn't his primary team, was it? Who ended up on LaShawn McCoy?
Nope.
Who is it?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Oh, Marshawn. Yeah. So I don't.
You forget about his Buffalo days.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
So who? I think I don't know if he's got this good a balance all the time, but he's got one run, and he's gonna. I mean, this will give it away, but he's gonna be in the draft this year. He's got one run where you're like, that might be the best balanced run I've ever seen in my life.
Was it against Pittsburgh?
No, it was against Penn State. That Jeremiah Love touchdown run in the playoffs
I knew it
year.
was Love. I'm trying to think of the run, because the one he had against Pitt, where he literally spun on the surface area of a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it was tweet.
Yeah.
I was like, huh.
Yeah, no, it's the touchdown run against Penn State in the playoff.
Yeah. Do you know the Nebraska back that I think has the best balance that I've ever seen?
Who?
Historically?
Mm-mm.
Take a stab.
What era? I'll say there's too many Nebraska running backs. You got to narrow it down a little.
80s.
I'm not great at 80s backs.
Can I guess a year?
Yeah, go for it.
Like 87.
Roughly.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that?
I think I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his first name. Smith?
It's generic like that.
Calvin's after that.
Correct.
I Am Hip is not generic.
Too late.
87. Keith Jones?
Incorrect.
That's all I got. My 80s Nebraska is not good.
His son is elite. Elite.
Clark.
As a player.
Clark?
Ken Clark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ken Clark.
Yeah. I can see that.
Sensational.
You big Ken Clark guy. Big Quinn Clark guy.
I'm not gonna say because people can't handle it.
No, you've been high on him for the last. You've been high on him since he got here.
Just telling you.
He was the guy. I mean, he's one of the guys. So at open practice in fall last year, that I was like, that might be the best receiver on your team.
He's elite. I don't. He is elite. Tiger 100%.
Jamal Charles
in the discussion.
Yeah,
in the discussion.
I mean,
Jamal Charles was. Who do Chiefs fans think had the better bursts in the career, Priest or Charles? Probably Priest.
So Priest gets the better run. I think Jamal Charles might have been a little better for a little longer.
Husker Priapism. That is, I can't say that word. HP. That is a very good low key call on Mookie. Keith or Leotis Flowers had tremendous balance. His legs. He has, like, if you were going to put together a running back, you would take Mookie's legs or Leotis's legs.
So Jamal Charles didn't score nearly as much as Priest Holmes did, but he had 5 out of 6 years where he went over 1,000. He went 11-20, 14-67, got injured, 15-09, 12-87, 10-33.
Jamal Charles was really good. And Priest had the 3 gaudy years, right?
Yeah.
Did Priest go another good guy with balance? Derek Brown is in the discussion of best ever when it comes to balance.
Yeah, so Priest had...
For me, it's just a matter of personal opinion. D. Brown is in the Ken Clark discussion.
Priest had 3 like ungodly years. He went 15-55, 16-15 with 21 touchdowns, 14-20 with 27 touchdowns.
It was like a 3-year deal.
He had the one random 1,000-yard season with Baltimore too.
Did you? So your conspiracy theory is not so conspiratory.
Which one?
With the Ravens.
No, yeah, they just signed
Trey
Hendrickson. So
for $412.
Yeah. Or 112.
112, I mean.
Yeah, 4 for 112. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that
they're like, nah.
Pretty sure Maxx Crosby's fine. And they're just like,
dude, how shady is that?
No, it's the shadiest thing in the world. But like
this the same thing they did with Crabtree.
Physicals are so subjective though. There is no like, it's, you ever like, it's like home inspections on a house, right?
Yeah.
Like you can back out of a deal for anything on the home inspection you didn't like because no house is perfect, right? Even new builds are going to be like, there's this and this and this. And most of the time you're just like, hey, give me an allowance to fix this or fix this before I move in or whatever, right? And the deal continues to go through. But technically, you're allowed to pull out of that deal for anything you find on a home inspection, assuming you made it contingent on the home inspection, and you get your earnest deposit back. I know because I've done this.
Yeah.
Right?
That is incredible. I was just texting Will now. I was laughing.
But it's the same thing with physicals. We assume somebody failed a physical, and it's like, his knee must be degenerating like Bo Jackson's hip.
So now who else is going to be in the hunt for Max, though?
So
he clearly wants out of Vegas.
Well, yeah, he's definitely leaving. Like, they're still going to trade him, but the problem is now they're definitely not getting 2 firsts for him anymore. Because, the market has shifted. A lot of the suitors...
Does Trey's agent just call up Baltimore and be like, hey...
You don't want to talk to us first?
Yeah. Like,
this is what you get if you're Trey Hendrickson. Because do you not remember like 2 days ago when they're like, hey, we're going to slow play this and let the process play out? Or maybe get on the phone and do your job.
Yeah, that's...
Unless...
So how much longer will Max be a...
You want me to go real tinfoil hat on you? Unless Baltimore did quote unquote the Maxx Crosby deal to leverage Hendrickson into taking an offer they wanted better.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, hey, I want 130. It's like, we'll give you 112. It's like, oh, fine, we don't need you. We're gonna go get Maxx Crosby.
100%.
And he's like, whoa.
I'm with you. I don't think that's super tinfoily.
I think that's probably what happened. They didn't like how the negotiations were going. They used Crosby as leverage. When Hendrickson's agent came back to the table with an offer they could accept, they're like, "Oh, that knee looks a little sketch there, bud."
Little sus. Caleb, I'm with you. of the post Callahan and later guys. Halu is in this he only has one peer and it's Amir.
I mean,
those two are different in terms of the balance era.
You know who my favorite random balance guy is? We've talked about it before. It's random too. Not a team I care about. I can give you the era. It's like late 2000s, maybe into early 2010s, but mostly late 2000s. Not a team or a conference I care about at all. Major power conference kid though. It's it's truly random.
What's the conference?
SEC.
Thinking Georgia.
Yep. Not most of the Georgia backs people think about though. They've had a better run after him for backs, I think.
Did he end up playing for a team you like in the league?
Nope.
It's going to really annoy me. If I can get the team, I got to get the player.
Yeah, you should be able to, especially because since I gave you the era. You want the NFL team?
Yes.
Broncos. I've talked about this guy before, too.
Noshawn Moreno?
Love Noshawn Moreno. I thought he had incredible balance.
Again, another horrific knee injury.
Yeah. I thought he had great balance.
He had this like ragtag running style too. Like it's kind of crazy legs.
Yeah.
I didn't love his running style, but he was sensational.
A little loosey goosey, but it felt like every time
he gave me like some crazy leg Hirsch vibes.
Every time he got hit, it felt like he found a way to find his balance again.
Get one of those generational names nobody will ever name their kid.
No, Sean?
No. Elroy.
Oh.
Crazy legs Hirsch. Shane, do you know any Elroys? Probably one of your uncles?
No. Not at all.
Sounds like a good small town Iowa name. Elroy.
I don't know any Noshans either.
Wasn't that the Jetsons?
Yeah. Elroy. Was that the dog? The dog was Elroy.
I think so.
That was a stupid cartoon that got a lot of burn.
Elroy, yeah. Oh, no, he was the kid. He was the baby.
Oh, the little bad dude with the blonde hair that looked like Barney Rubble?
Yeah.
He was like in 3rd or 4th grade. I mean,
how do you know?
Typical. He wasn't the baby.
I don't know.
This dude said 3rd or 4th grade.
I'm not watching the Jetsons, man. He
and
looked
when
like
were
a
they
little
in school?
He looked like a little kid.
In the intro, he went off in the spaceship to school.
Not in the classroom.
My man watches too many cartoons. Coming up next, we got Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, I think, coming off the 2 tough losses at home and the fashion with which we lost those 2 close games, to go on the road and have a really complete 20 minutes like we had the last half of basketball was I think a shot of confidence for this group, and hopefully gives us some pretty good vibe moving into New York. It's harder, no question. I mean, obviously they try to disrupt you with their physicality and their full court pressure, and we handled all that really well at their place, but weren't able to get the win, and we turned it over and gave up some offensive rebounds here, and found a way to win that game. So both games were really decided, in close fashion. So I would expect something very similar.
Yeah, I mean it's been an amazing season, and I honestly I never knew if I could get to this point in my career, especially throughout my first 2 years. I really questioned if I could even play at this level and if I was really meant to be a basketball player. So obviously it's a great honor, but that we don't play this game to get those individual awards, especially on this team. We play to get those postseason victories and win championships. So that's all we're focused on now. Yeah, I think a big part of it has been confidence for me. I really didn't have much confidence my first 2 years. I started to gain more of that, but really the main thing has been my teammates and coaches. Like I've gave them credit all year, and I'll continue to do that. Like this guy next to me setting screens, and my coaches putting me in the right positions and believing in me and having the confidence in me. It gives so much confidence as a player, and I really do just give all credit to my teammates and coaches.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, how are we doing this morning?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Good. Mitch, I hate when you're on the move. This is like back-to-back times where I don't get to enjoy your facial expressions, man. But I got to see you.
I could I could put I can do that. You can see I am on the move.
Mobile.
I'm in the vehicle. Yes. I'll just turn it off there.
Is it near it's near as good an excuse as getting your dog groomed?
I was getting my hair cut. So I was getting myself groomed.
It's the same.
So there you go. Yeah, it's the same. I don't know. The dog's more important for sure.
It's roughly the same. Dogs,
Listen,
people,
in my book, yeah, absolutely.
Can I pet that dog?
Mitch, very wow. Very unassuming, Mitch, as you kind of just casually took in practice yesterday. Some of your peers were very much in a hurry. You gave me the appearance of a guy that knew exactly where he wanted to go. Is that fair?
Oh, did I? I don't know if that's how I felt. It might have just been general. I was kind of resigned to the fact that I'm not going to learn everything about this team in 25 minutes of off-season viewing capabilities. Like, this is all that the media is going to get to be able to see this team from the bowl game until preseason camp. Oh. And my thought was like, let's not make too much of this. Yeah, there are going to be other. I don't want to diminish the trust that the public has in the media. Like, there's still plenty of ways to learn information about the team, but as far as watching them practice, that was it yesterday. And it was a short window, so I wasn't going to try to see every player and assess every player. I did joke with, I think, Robin Washit, after watching 10 minutes, I'm like, all right, now I'm good. I know everything I need to know. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go pick the results in the fall. I just decided I'm going to watch the offensive guys, and I there's plenty to see on defense, and I would love to spend 2 hours watching the defense and the new coaches on that side, but you just can't see everything in a short period of time. So I watched the offensive linemen when the doors open, and then I went and watched the receivers, and then the running backs and quarterbacks were together, and then it was time to leave.
Mitch, so obviously in that setting, you get kind of limited in what they're actually doing. The time frame is obviously limited as well. Are you trying to look at more as much football stuff as you can? Are you looking at how the coaches kind of interact with players? Are you looking how players interact with each other? With the limited scope of both drills and time, is there something specific you're looking for?
I think you're lucky if you in a window like that, if you see something that is really football important or football specific. You don't know what you're going to see going in. So I don't have an expectation of like trying to learn as much as I can about their football skills. I look for body language and like the way that the players interact with each other. Yes, as you mentioned, Ravi, I look at kind of coaching, what's being said, and who's speaking up on the coach side, especially when it's a coach that I've not seen out there on the field, and that's more happening on the defensive side than it is on offense. So there wasn't as much opportunity to do that. Offensive line, yes, was interested to see Jeep Wade interact with and Lonnie Teasley interact with the linemen for sure. But yeah, it's just like more team dynamic. Who seems to be in control? Who are the players looking to for guidance and leadership? Like our coaches pointing out a player. I saw this with Quasi Gilmer, where the coaches were using him as an example for the younger receivers, like do it the way that Quasi does it. So that I think that kind of thing is valuable and is available. But I don't necessarily like go in and say I've got to see this, because you don't know what's going to happen and what you're going to stumble upon.
Mitch, when you're kind of trying to put piece what you've heard from press conferences versus the limited time that you get to see, is there an order that you process that in your head for validation or validity, or what's like when you're kind of fact checking what you've heard through pressers?
Mm-hmm.
Is there kind of yeah?
I don't think there's a list or an order, but yeah, I have that in mind. I, go in understanding and with like a base of knowledge of what we have been told. And it's good to kind of, fact check that stuff. Like, for instance, there's been a lot of talk about staying on the offensive side, about Jamal Rule this spring from coaches and teammates. So I like to see that with my own eyes, because it's a position and a player within a position who I believe is really important. Like if the running backs are what the coaches are saying, then I think he needs to be a part of it. Like he needs to help. He needs to upgrade that position. There needs to be a role for him in this offense. You don't expect that Nebraska is going to go through the entire season in 2026 and not have anything health-wise happen to Mekhi Nelson and Isaiah Mosey and Quentin Ives. And even if those guys do stay healthy, I still think there's a need for Jamal Rule to have a role in this thing. So I was curious, not so much like validating what Dana Holgorsen or EJ Barthel or Matt Rule has said, but just like seeing it with my own eyes. Like I want to put my own opinion behind that. Sometimes the coaches will talk up a player and they're telling the truth and they're saying what they think, but the reality is that player still isn't ready. They look good in practice. They have a bright future, but is that future in September or October of next year? Like, I'd like to put my own eyes on it, and not that I have the answers, but at least it can help shape my opinion.
As you're, looking at Rule specifically, have you been surprised at all that unsolicited on multiple occasions they've brought up a true freshman in Jamal Rule? Obviously, with kind of what you just talked about, with thinking he'll need to be a part of the room, that's one thing. But it seems like they've gone out of their way to praise him multiple times. Did that catch you off guard at all, or did that kind of change your dynamic when you're going out there to watch him yesterday?
I haven't been that surprised by it. One, I don't think they would do that unless they really believed it. They're not blowing smoke. Like, they do like him. Again, do they like him as somebody who can help the team this year, or do they like him as a running back who can eventually be a part of things? That I'm not sure. But I also think that some of it is just a little bit of pushback from the coaches, because they understand that there has been some negativity in that area and what they chose to do or not do in the offseason at the running back spot. So a little bit of that, I think, is just like human nature, like their response and saying, hey, we did add somebody. We did add somebody at the running back spot, and he's a player that we really believe in. So, stop with your talk about how Nebraska hasn't done what it needed to do to upgrade the running back position. Like, I think that the coaches Matt Rule in particular, are aware of the conversation, all the conversations, but this one about the running backs and questions at that spot. And one of their answers, part of their answer to the skeptics is, hey, we really like what we got in Jamal Rule. So they may be a little more apt to talk about him than they would in a normal situation.
It's just interesting too, because the room, I'm always, again, this is well documented, especially with me, right? You don't know until you really know with running backs. So you just try to kind of stay in the moment, because everybody needs an opportunity to play before you kind of know what they are. And, just to your point about Rule, I was joking with Ravi earlier, the best run of the day might have been had by Connor Booth. So when you look at kind of what Coach Holgerson's premise was, along with Coach Barthel, and knowing the guys, the second year with almost all the guys, he recruited Rule, so he kind of knows what they need. If nothing else, without the outcome being apparent yet, they at least seem to know what they want from a development standpoint, right? Like, guys that fit in the offense for them, they've seen them, and they get another year with them. So at least you give yourself a fighting chance, like you're not just blind hunting, right?
Yeah, I think that's been a big question about the offense all the way through, is how do you figure out, how do you decide which players fit into the offense that you want to run when you're not yet sure what the offense is that you want to run. And now that there are 9 practices, it'll be 10 tomorrow into the spring, they are much further down the road, further down the road than they were 2 weeks ago at knowing what that offense is that they want to run and what it's going to look like. And a lot of that, of course, is dictated by the quarterback. And I think you've seen, at least based on what the coaches have said, I think that there has been progress. There has been an evolution of the offense so that they're going to feature more of this off-schedule stuff. And I don't want to make too much of that. Like, it's obviously not a good offense if every play or half of your plays or a third of your plays are off schedule, but there's going to be a much bigger piece of the offense than it has been at any point with Dana Holgorsen or with Matt Rule at Nebraska, because of the skill set that Calandria has. So it's not just one player who has to fit into that system for the offense to work. It's not just about the quarterback. At least 5 others have to be a big part of that too, and have to be on the same page as the quarterback. Like Dana said on Saturday, the linemen aren't as much a piece. Like, the linemen are going to do their job in the first 3 or 4 seconds of the play. And then if it gets off schedule, they just kind of got to be out of the way. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get a penalty, but you don't go downfield, but whatever. It's about the skill guys doing their job. And so with the running backs, I think that they've started to figure that out. Like, who are the running backs and how can their skill sets translate into what the offense is becoming now that they're almost 2/3 of the way through spring practice. And that's going to continue to be something that's of great importance, I think, as they get into June, when they're back out on the field in the OTAs and of course all through preseason camp.
Mitch, as you're out there yesterday, a lot's been made kind of Anthony Calandria from a just kind of the way he carries himself and his attitude standpoint. Is that visible from where you were? Was that something that showed up to you?
I don't know if I would have picked that out if I hadn't been told those things before the time that I got to see the quarterbacks on Tuesday. I mean, he was pretty businesslike. I wouldn't say that I immediately looked at him and was like, oh yeah, man, he's got moxie. He's, the players are looking up to him. He's an alpha. I wouldn't. He was just going about his business. Like, I saw some videos of the handshake stuff. I didn't see that happen. It did, but I wasn't watching, and whatever. That's just that's just his thing. Like, let's not get into a place where like that becomes the main conversation about Nebraska football or Anthony Calandria, that like he shakes everybody's hands in a specific way. Who cares? Like what? Like that is not going to win you. That is not going to win you games.
Nor right?
Yeah, right. It's a distraction. But no, I believe what they say, and I mean he was at the front of the line. Carried himself professionally. I thought he, knew where he was supposed to be. Everything you'd like to see from an older player. So is he, does it jump off the field like, man, this guy's a great leader? Not in the 25 minutes that I saw, but that is a very, very small window into what's going on within that team. And even like all the hours that they've practiced this spring are a relatively small window into what's going on with the team. Like, to really know his impact, you would have to observe him away from the field, away from the football complex, and get a window into like everything that he's doing while he's in Lincoln around his teammates. And you just cannot get that from watching 25 minutes of practice.
One thing I was curious about is, some people kind of off, at first blush, they'll like talk about his size or whatever. I typically don't get into that as much with football guys, as much as I look at how they're put together, whether it's 330 or 230. I always look at like how they're put together. One thing I think you could definitely say about AC, even if you're not in love with his height, is his lower, like he's put together well. Like he may be smaller in stature, but he is far from slight.
Oh, he looks like an athlete, that's for sure. And you can tell that just from seeing him, whatever it was last Wednesday when he came into the media room. Like he's an athlete playing quarterback, and I mean that in a complimentary way. And out there with the pads on yesterday, you could see that too. And it's more than just like his build; it's also the way that he moves. I mean, there's guys who are athletes and are put together well, but they're not fluid necessarily in their with everything that they do, and he's got a lot of that.
As you're kind of going through, everybody's talked about how big this offensive line is, and to be asking about how guys are put together, whether it's Calandria or somebody at 330. So I immediately start thinking of some of the guys on the offensive line. How did you feel like they moved? I haven't heard as many people talk about their movement as opposed to just how enormous they look.
Tree and Paul Mubenga, and I know Mubenga's been out, but he was out. He was practicing yesterday. They seemed to move well in the 5 to 10 minutes that I watched them, and I thought that Brendan Black looked like he fit into what Nebraska's had at the offensive line spots. Like he's a plug and play kind of guy, and I think you know what you're going to get with him. Much like Elijah Pritchett coming in last year, he's got a different kind of like SEC level of athleticism and just like physical ability. You see some of that for sure also with Mubenga and with Tree Babalade.
Mitch, so when you went to, what made you decide? I'm just curious. I'm just kind of walking through based on your demeanor yesterday. I'm just kind of walking back. How did you decide you wanted to go offense first?
I don't know. It's just kind of where I went.
Just let the spirit lead you.
It was the field that was closest to me when I came out of the garage doors from the
At least
Hawks.
you're honest. Yeah.
They were doing more at the moment, like at the moment where I was standing at the intersection of offense and defense. Like it looked like there was more going on the offensive practice field than there was over on the other field with the defense. Like I just kind of thought
defense was considerably further away. I mean, the
they were. I didn't want to walk over them.
The linebackers were like way in the corner. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, what am I? What am I doing? I'm not out here to get in 10,000 steps. No, I knew I wanted to see the offense. I wanted to see Calandria. I wanted to see the running backs. So if we had more time, I definitely would have looked at the defense. But I was enjoying watching the offense, and I started talking to a couple people, and the next thing I knew, it was time to leave. I did notice, and maybe you can speak to this. Is practice way more quiet than it has been for like the last 8 years, 7-8 years? Like usually there's tons of music out there and it's like a big party. I don't know if that's because practice has always been in the morning and like they need to wake them up, or if they feel like they had to cater to like what the players wanted. But the music has always seemed to be such a big piece of things at practice. And I got out there yesterday and I'm like, something's different. Like, what's going on? And I realized like there's no music playing. They played a little bit of music between the periods when the players, moved from one station to the next or whatever, different drills. But it was very quiet. And I don't know, to me, it kind of like fit into the theme of the spring where things are just quiet. Like it's quiet around Nebraska football right now, like by design. And it was interesting to me that also was the way practice was.
That's an interesting takeaway, because I think the music is situational, right? But that's I'd have to give that some thought. I don't know if I've heard any less music over the last handful of weeks, but to your point, with so much teaching and developmental work, it's better
to do that without music blasting, right?
Yeah. And they utilize so much space. Like it is super strategic and organized about where to move and when to go, right? You get this blanket announcement. And guys are on the hunt. Like from a business standpoint, and this isn't to say that they weren't about business before, but it's a different phase, right? You're installing more. Tony White had the first couple of years, then Butler was trying to build on. This is completely brand new, right? From a teaching standpoint. And so I could, that's an interesting option. I can't really confirm or deny. I do find that interesting though.
I've been there in the past where I've seen coaches who had to like really yell just to be heard. And again, I'm not like doing revisionist history. Like at the time, when Nebraska changed its practice structure back in 2018 to go to the mornings and everything became about pace and tempo and, we're going to play fast, we're going to practice fast, all of that. Like everybody was going ooh and ah and thought that was really cool. And like, this is the way of the future. This is great. It's come full circle, at least in the brief time that I was out there yesterday, it's come full circle in some way. And, in addition to it being back in the afternoon, which definitely I'm sure it did the same with you. It takes me back to a totally different era of Nebraska football when it's 5 or 5:30 in the evening and you're on the practice field.
Mitch, I want to ask you real quick about baseball before we get you out of here. Nebraska obviously on 5-game winning streak. I don't know that they're going to get the North Dakota State one in tonight, considering what the weather decided to do today.
They played last Friday. It's far nicer today, even if it's snowing.
That drop was crazy, though. I felt bad for people that went. If you first got to that baseball game in the daytime, you were like, "Oh, it's cool." Yeah. And if you walk back, it's like 38 degrees. You're about to be falling off the bridge.
Friday was ridiculous. I was at state basketball and I walked back across the bridge, and the game was over at that time. But even when I went into the basketball game and looking back at Haymarket Park, I'm like, what are they doing? Like, why are they playing? There's like 20 people in the stands.
What time did you get to Lincoln?
I think it was 5:30ish.
So even in that time, so 5 to 7:30, it was probably a 15-degree temp drop.
Yeah.
10 for sure.
Right. It was extremely cold when I left at 7:30 or 8, whatever. Like it felt like the middle of winter.
It's ridiculous.
And the game was long. The baseball game was long over at that point. But anyway, I don't know. North Dakota State will be this will feel good to them. They'll be at home in the snow.
Speaking of which, I'm over here looking at possible 14s. I said yesterday, Ravi made fun of me for watching North Dakota State.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
And for following John Rothstein, but that's a different discussion, Mitch. And I said, I'm hoping like North Dakota State is going to be like a trendy 14 over a 3. So I just wanted, them and Wright State. So if Wright, I'll give you a little heads up here, Mitch. If Wright State and North Dakota State are like 14s, they will be very, very interesting matchups. I don't know if that's where they'll land on the seed line, but those are two teams I have my eye on, and just in case Nebraska's a 3.
I think Nebraska's going to be a 3. So
I'm a nerd, so
it's great.
That's what I do.
It's great to watch these low and mid-major conference tournaments and do some scouting and go, that could be a 14, that could be a 14. But I feel very confident that Nebraska is going to be a 3. I mean, of course, unless Nebraska goes 3-0 in Chicago, then that changes.
Yeah, I agree, Mitch. I think that's about the only way they get to a 2, and I don't think their result gets them off the 3 line in a negative way. So,
no.
Appreciate the time as always. Good stuff, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, take care, guys.
Thanks, Mitch.
That's Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Good stuff there from Mitch.
Mitch is on the move. Big grooming guy.
Listen, gotta get the haircut, you know?
Yeah, I told you I would never make fun of a guy that wants to take care of his pets.
Yeah.
I was looking at my dog's nails. Well, I missed the in-home visit because there's just a lot of nonsense going on at the house, and I'm like, yeah, you guys need your nails clipped. It's a great $30 investment. I can do all 3 dogs.
Yeah, for $30?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Dude, my poop removal?
Dude, mine's so cheap.
My poop removal is $30.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Mine's a little more than that because I got the 3 big dogs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it's still not bad. It's like $12 a week.
Oh, it's
100% worth it. 100% worth it.
No, I'm with you. Somebody's making fun of me.
Yeah, I saw that in the chat. I was like, no, I will listen. I'll make fun of DB for just about everything. I will not. I will not make fun of him for paying for somebody to clean up his dog.
That's cool.
Food.
It's like ending where you left off.
Well, listen, at least I'm honest, right? You know where you stand with me. It's
going back and forth with Will Compton. He nailed the Ravens thing yesterday. You know, because he had a little sit down. He's like, something just
doesn't seem right.
Yeah,
doesn't seem right
because the dollar figure for Hendrickson is about the same.
Yeah,
they just got to keep the picks.
Yeah, it was and the timing is incredibly conspicuous. It seemed like Hendrickson was about to have a deal done with the Colts.
Well, I thought he was going to go to Dallas.
So the last reporting that I got to during the last commercial break was that it seemed like it was going to be the Colts at the 11th hour, and Baltimore. That's when Baltimore said they didn't like the physical. So I'm guessing they had back channeled and found out that if they could get to this number, they'd get Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, because the number's about the same.
Which is,
I mean, this is how you do business, right?
It's how some people do business.
I'm just waiting to see where these quarterbacks land.
Well, Willis is in Miami. It sounds like Tua's in Atlanta. So we're waiting on your guy, Kyler Murray. We're waiting. Well, so this is the funniest thing.
Are we really waiting on McCarthy?
No. I think McCarthy, I assumed McCarthy would stay in Minnesota.
You got to keep a guy on a rookie deal, right?
Yeah, I didn't think he was going anywhere. Even if they signed Kyler, I assume, and with Kyler's injury history, you can't really get rid of your backup quarterback.
Yeah.
The funniest,
but we've seen organizations move off of rookie deals.
I mean, famously, when the Cardinals brought in Kyler Murray, they got off of Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
The next year, I mean, that was 2 years in a row. The funniest thing that happened yesterday with NFL free agency, though, was Geno Smith going back to the Jets. Unequivocally hilarious.
So their lineup on paper, offensively, is legit.
I mean, I like Breece Hall. I'm a big Breece Hall guy.
I mean, look at their offensive line. If they're healthy.
Well, yeah, they've done a really good job drafting on the offensive line with like Fashanu.
It's not awful. I mean, if you get
here's the problem.
Even just slightly better than average, Geno.
Here's the problem, though.
You got Fashanu, Newman, Myers, Tippmann, and Mimbo. Like, that's a good offensive line.
It is. I agree.
Garrett Wilson is nice.
Here's the problem, though. The version of Geno Smith that they would want last appeared 2 years ago. This past year was 19 and 17. He led the league in interceptions.
Yeah,
That's rough.
I mean, I kind of look at the team he was with.
I'll give him a little bit of a pass for that. So let's go his last year in Seattle. He was 21 and 15 his last year in Seattle. The interceptions found their way back into his life. And so if I'm the Jets there, I'm a little bit worried if that's where I'm putting all my eggs in my basket to get my offensive lineup that we like the rest of to get the ball out. I'm a little bit.
You do buy yourself some time.
You do buy yourself some time, but he's also going to be 36 years old this year.
Well, he can sit next to 37-year-old Demario Davis. Although he would be in the defensive meetings, but
I'm sure they eat lunch together or something. But if you're the Steelers, 37-year-old, 36-year-old, that'd be dramatically younger.
Wow.
But you guys got
he hasn't re-signed yet.
I just mean younger than last year. You got a nice running back though. You signed Rico Dowdell.
Yeah.
You got Pittman. wide receiver.
I like the Steelers running back room though.
No, you just forgot to find a quarterback.
Is it hard? How old do you think Minkah Fitzpatrick is?
31.
He's 29.
So I almost went 29 because you asked me, and I was like, he's probably younger.
I think people think Minkah's older than he is.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, obviously I did.
He's 29 years old.
That's not bad.
You have to use him in a particular. You have to, and Glenn will know because he's done the defensive thing, but you have to use Minkah correctly.
This is the thing that we talked about kind of last week a little bit is making sure you use guys like that in the right scheme. I don't understand, and maybe it's gotten better, but it seems like too many NFL either talent evaluators or talent acquisition guys just sort of forget about that part of the equation when they're doing this, whether it's in the draft or in free agency or trades or whatever. Like, I still remember when like Nnamdi Asomugha seemed like he was the best corner in the league, and then he changes locations and they ask him to do something completely different, and they're like, why does this guy suck? And it's like,
because you're asking him to play man.
That's not his job. Like, he doesn't do that. Like, that's that's the one that always sticks out to me for some reason, because it was just so dramatic. He went from best corner in the league to getting cut basically overnight because they're like, we can't do anything with this guy.
What are you expecting today as they tip at 11 a.m. on the cock or Peacock?
on the Luke?
I mean, I should be able to say that with you guys being able to grow up.
You can do whatever you want. What do we got today? Let's see.
You got Maryland and Iowa, then SC Washington, Northwestern Indiana, Rutgers, Minnesota. Not a paltry slate, but you do have a ton of games. You're going to go 11 to 8. It is all day Big Ten basketball.
Real quick, super funny. Yesterday when we kept asking about sleepers in the Big Ten tournament, somebody in the chat, I think it might have been Hot Danger, kept bringing up Oregon. They scored 12 points in the first half yesterday.
Yeah. How would you like to be Penn State?
I would almost never like to be Penn State for any reason.
Not even wrestling?
Okay, for wrestling, but still, I'm passing on living in Happy Valley, even if I have the best wrestling program in the country.
Take it from a guy that just left from there. That's a wise move. I don't know what you would do.
I don't know what anybody does there.
Besides lose your mind.
The game I'm most interested in the Big Ten slate today, it's not, I get there's a lot of games. It's not great.
Is one of the dark horses playing today?
I don't think so. But
so not Indiana.
I don't think Indiana's a dark horse. I don't think they're playing very well. I don't think they've got it in them.
They're 9-11 in the conference.
Yeah, I don't think they've got it in them to make a run. I don't. If Iowa's the closest for me. I think stylistically, you're going to run into some teams that Ben McCollum can outcoach. Bennett Sturts can get hot, whether we think he's a great player or just a very good player or whatever. Whatever we decide on Bennett Sturts.
He said we could talk to him this week if we wanted to, Shane. I don't know if you want to jump on that grenade or not.
Who, Bennett Sturts?
No, Steve-On.
Yeah, I don't know if we have time this week.
Yeah, we're busy.
We're running out of time, especially if we get to
and we got EJ on hold.
I'll say, especially if we get to reschedule Coach Barthel. Iowa's the most interesting team that plays today for me in the Big Ten. I think they've got some I think they can outcoach everybody, and they've got a real dude.
I think I keep an eye on Indiana. That's me.
All right. I'll keep an eye on, but not too close.
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
Because it's not a great slate.
It's not a very good slate.
There's not a spread that's lower than 5.
Yeah, it's not a
4.5, 5.
It's not a great
Which game do you think that is? Oh, you probably know.
I've got it in front of me. That and Rutgers, Minnesota, USC, Washington, Rutgers, Minnesota are in the same neighborhood.
Do you want me to talk about Washington's backcourt?
Yeah, do it. You love them.
No, because you get mad.
You love their backcourt. Tell me how much you love their backcourt.
I won't.
Got to keep watering the bamboo.
I haven't said it in 3 weeks. Because you acted like a dill rod about it.
No, they're super efficient. It's you love Diallo.
Here we go.
Come on, man. Definitely not just a super good athlete who doesn't actually know how to play basketball that much. I like their big though. I like Steinbeck. I don't know how to say it. Steinbach.
It's
like Roger.
Nope, different guy.
Dude just lays in the cut to be.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
That guy's the GOAT.
That's the show for today. DB and I will be back tomorrow. Hurrdat Sports Live. We'll see what we can do.
I don't know. As long as you let me sit on the floor, I'll be fine.
I'm probably not going to let you sit on the floor.
Maybe I should bring a bean bag.
A what?
A bean bag.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
I don't have one.
I mean, maybe. You got to go buy a bean bag just so you can sit on there?
Oh. Was that bean bag or bang bag?
A what bag?
You're an idiot.
What are you doing to that bag, Shane?
He's just being a dummy.
I've got a game I want to. Not a game. I've got an exercise I want to go through tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm all in.
It's college basketball players.
I'm all in.
They like to do these. We're gonna get a little tease. They like to do these player comps when they go through a mock draft. I want to go through those comps and see what you think is accurate.
Let's do it
and see if you can come up with a better one. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow with more Hurrdat Sports Live.